All right. All right, who's ready? Who's ready?
Ready.
Ready as
Here we
all
go.
All right.
Woohoo! Hello, friends and listeners. You got a new episode of Watch Skip Plus. We are a movie review podcast with a lifestyle twist. That means that after we review a new streaming or theatrical film, we also give you a short bonus review about something. It can be anything. And if this is the first time you're seeing our videos and our faces, please make sure that you follow, like, subscribe, do all of the things on Spotify or YouTube. And my name is Jose, also known as Cupcake. I'm joined by my co-host, the wildebeest, Mike. Mike, how are you doing this week?
I'm doing good. I actually spent 6 extra hours in airports due to a whole bunch of delays. So I'm a little bit groggy after going on a work trip, but flying in America is a shit show.
As it were, as it were. Uh, we have a guest. Do you want to introduce our guest?
Yes, the mysterious man of many words. Let's introduce Samurai, who's kind of our podfather, the godfather himself from Gentleman's Guide to Midnight Cinema.
Yeah,
Yes.
people love it when I talk about comic book films. So let's see if I give you guys some controversy. The
Cool.
Verity.
It's two in a row. We swiped
hey.
we swiped right.
I will tell you
Um,
this. Yeah. I will tell you this. I liked one more than the other.
Oh, I can't wait. So what wait, speaking of, this is a
Yep.
superhero movie. What are we reviewing, Mike?
We are reviewing the Fantastic Four First Steps.
I don't know why they needed to add that first steps thing. Whatever.
I think there's an inside joke there with the child being involved and everything too.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Indeed.
the
Indeed.
retro 60s look, all of it.
Yeah. Little ham-handed, but whatever.
There's some stroking going on, folks.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. Certainly. Okay, so let's do this. Below the line, Fantastic Four First Steps. I almost said FF, which stands for something else. If you know fetishes.
Yeah. Oh, we might.
And-
Yeah, we might be using FF to talk about FF for first step.
It makes me think about something else. Anyway, moving on. Our director is Matt Shakman. By the way, if you guys didn't know this, John Watts, who is the director of the MCU Spider-Man films, the ones with Tom Holland, he was to direct Fantastic Four First Steps. There was a lot of excitement over that. And literally, folks, the reason why he dropped out was superhero fatigue. I'm not kidding. He was like, I need to take a break from superhero movies. And so Matt Shakman stepped in.
I didn't know that. Is Watts doing the new Spider-Man film though?
He is, but he
Okay.
just needed a little bit of a rest.
A
So
little bit extra time, huh? Okay.
tiny bit of a rest. So Matt Shakman, this is funny. He actually was a child actor. So if you are like me, a child of the 80s, he was on a show called Just the 10 of Us. He played Graham, also known as Junior. That was a spin-off of the show Growing Pains, which was like my jam.
Yeah, I liked quite a few ladies on Just the 10 of Us.
Those ladies, by the way, have a weird connection because they are Nightmare on Elm Street gals. So
Yeah.
Heather Langenkamp, she played Nancy, and then Brooke Thies, she would show up in Elm Street 4, which is kind of curious. There was a huge cast. Obviously, it was called Just the 10 of Us, folks. So
There was one, I'm going to look her up while you're talking, but there was one that I particularly was in love with. Just keep talking.
the
Go ahead.
blonde. Was
No.
it the blonde?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'll admit something about myself here in a minute, but it wasn't the blonde.
Ooh, insider tea.
It was Jamie Luner, by the way. Jamie Luner. Luner.
Yes.
Oh my God, I wasn't. So I have a weakness for the redhead. Hey,
Wait, was she a natural redhead?
doesn't matter to
I
me.
have to go. I have to Google this
Also,
because I don't think I think it's out of a box. Wait, she's only 5'8". She looks so much taller on TV.
she does.
Um,
I also had a thing for Bill Kirkenbauer, if you know what I mean. No.
I did.
I'm sorry. With me, I'm like a Twinkie. You get a lot of filling, and not a whole lot of substance. Here we go.
Oh my gosh. I love twins, by the way.
You'll get a lot of side jokes, a lot of swiping right.
Yes, there are. My brain.
Anyway.
No, so
Shakman, child actor. He went on to be a creative director at the Geffen Playhouse in LA. He's a Yale graduate, double major, art history. That's going to come into play, as well as theater. He's directed TV mainly. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. He's an EP, Game of Thrones. He's something of an MCU wonderkind, and it's probably the reason why he stepped in here. He was responsible for directing the first out-of-the-gate Disney Plus Marvel show, which would then add to the superhero fatigue and the glut of Marvel content. We're going to use that word content.
Yeah.
But he directed all the episodes for WandaVision, which shares an aesthetic in some ways with this film. I loved WandaVision, but then when I also saw the direction of this film, I was like, of course they are, because WandaVision.
Well, it's funny
any
too.
Thoughts on Matt Shakman?
Well, it's funny thinking about WandaVision now. It seems so long ago now.
It does.
It does.
And
It
it's
does seem forever to go.
and it seems like most of that Marvel stuff on TV, none of it's really kind of, rang the bell. I did like WandaVision, but I also liked, Moon Knight. I also liked Winter Soldier, Captain America, Winter Soldier. I like that quite a bit. It's probably my favorite of the ones. Me and my son liked Moon Knight a lot. We just thought it was odd, weird, and I think it got caught up in itself, and it probably should have been like a 3-episode series. But there's stuff in that stuff that's pretty good. The werewolf by knife, one shot, right?
That was great.
And
Epic.
there's good stuff. I liked the look of WandaVision, but I never really liked. There was something off about some of the acting in it, and I can't remember what I didn't like. I don't know if I'd ever go back and rewatch it. Maybe I would.
I think some of that was intentional, because of a plot twist, but also because of the reason why it appears the way it does. But it was just so clever and out of the box. It was completely different from.
I like the gimmick. I like.
Yeah.
I just wish they would have. I think I wish they would have dropped the gimmick a little sooner.
I was just gonna say, I have a friend. I have a black friend, as they all say, who said that it's one of the most racist shows ever. They basically turned Wanda into a plantation owner who uses an entire city of slaves to deal with her trauma. So she's kind of a piece of shit.
Oh my God! I'm doing this Sarah Jessica Parker gif. That is not a take I expected.
It's interesting you say that because I hate to say. Well, I'm not going to say it. I'm just going to let it go because it's too.
Oh, she kind of does.
Fantastic Four feels incredibly milquetoast in some ways. That's all I'm going to say.
It does. It does. We're going to get to that.
Okay, good. I'm not the only one that noticed that.
No. Okay, so
Pretty
to our writers, and as our friends over at Not a Bomb say, once you have more than one or two writers, maybe there is a problem with the film. So first up, with our screenplay, we have Josh Friedman. He has been on our episode 80, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. He's a film and television screenwriter, recently Apple TV's Foundation, as well as Snowpiercer. A little bit of controversy here. TNT apparently pressured him to change the creative direction of the show. He left. Scott Derrickson, who directed Sinister and Doctor Strange for Marvel, actually left the project in solidarity. I stopped watching the show.
Scott Derrickson, the best director working right now who knows how to open a movie but doesn't know how to finish one.
Never. He does not know how to close a movie out.
Wah, wah. Wait, Scott Derrickson?
Scott Derrickson, yeah. He doesn't. For me, he can't. He's not a finisher.
I agree.
Swipe right. Swipe right.
FF. But he I don't know. I like the Black Phone. I thought Black Phone.
Oh, the ending is so corny.
Yeah, the ending's a little. Even Landon said the same thing. It's just
sequel setup. Anyway,
yeah.
Friedman will probably best be known, at least in my mind, for the pilot for Lock and Key. It was actually unaired. It's the first one that was ever done that screened at Comic-Con. Apparently, it was absolutely amazing, directed by Mark Romanek. Friedman's also written films like Spielberg's War of the Worlds, De Palma's Black Dahlia. He's also going to be behind Avatar #4. It's kind of weird that he's not involved with two or three, I don't know. Eric Pearson is our other writer. He appeared on episode 122 Thunderbolts. He is something of a Marvel staff writer because he has written nearly all of the Marvel one shots. These are the 1 hour episodes that appeared, like Agent Carter, and I didn't know. I didn't watch them, so I didn't care. He also wrote Thor Ragnarok and Black Widow. He's also done a number of uncredited rewrites on Marvel films. And then we have the writing duo of Jeff Kaplan and Ian Springer. They're a new writing team. They've written a bunch of shorts, but they're behind an indie film called Bert and Arnie's Guide to Friendship. I thought it was Bert and Ernie, like Sesame Street, but it's not. I wish. I wish. And then our story is by Kaplan and Springer, and then a lady. Ooh, it's a lady named Kat Wood. She's relatively new. Previously, she co-wrote the 2015 Arthur and Merlin. I don't know. Any comments on our writers, folks? I think Pearson at least stands out in terms of his screenplay for Thunderbolts was pretty damn good. Thor Ragnarok, I love. Black Widow, I could take or leave. I think there's some tricks to that screenplay, like you said, Sammy. They should have showed their hand a little earlier. But anywho, any comments?
It's just a bunch of Marvel hired guns doing what they know what to do. I mean, nothing really special there, and I think we'll talk more about that as the show goes on.
It seems like the cream of the crop, maybe.
And this is just me totally being like a movie snob, but it does feel like, hey, let's bring a female in because we need some Sue Storm pizzazz.
Right.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it's just a story credit. It's all men.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go.
There's a little bit of a shift toward the back end to a very strong. Well, we'll talk about it.
Oh yeah. Music, Michael Giacchino. I feel like we've mentioned him. He's never officially been on a show, but we've definitely mentioned him before. I love Michael Giacchino. He started scoring video games. He's been associated for a long time with J.J. Abrams. So we're looking at scoring Alias, Lost, Star Trek, Fringe, Mission Impossible 3, and then the Abrams produced Mission Impossible 4. He scored for Spielberg, the Wachowski siblings. We're saying siblings now. Several of the JP movies. So Dominion. And then he has a long-standing scoring relationship with Marvel and Disney. So the Incredibles movies, Up, Zootopia, Lightyear, Inside Out, and then films like John Carter of Mars. That's always will be the title in my head. John Carter of Mars, not John Carter. Who the fuck is John Carter? Tomorrowland, Doctor Strange, Rogue One, the Spider-Man MCU movies, Thor, Love and Thunder. Interestingly enough, he did direct. He stepped up to direct. He directed Werewolf by Night, which we just mentioned. And then what I think is interesting about his score for this film is it's wall-to-wall score. Like, I don't think there's a moment where there's no music. Like, there is literally a music cue every minute. I might be wrong about that, but also there's a lot of choral work. I tried to peep the score beforehand, but there was so much
a ton of it
that I just shut it off. I was like, I can't listen to this. I can't do it. Any thoughts on Giacchino? Giacchino.
He's versatile, man. The dude is completely versatile. And this compared
Swipe right, FF.
Versatile bottom, baby. So
First steps. First steps.
For the record, we have no idea if Michael Giacchino is a bottom. Okay,
no, we have no clue. We're just joking. But no, he's very versatile. He does. He can do everything, and this sounds really epic for being what it is. Very 60s, very kind of Lawrence Welk show at times. So it kind of felt like it fit the vibe, and he's really good at fitting the vibe for whatever he's hired to do. So again, a lot of really good hired hands involved here who are just really good at doing what they need to do. And there's not a lot of originality here, but it sounds really cool and fits the look.
Yeah. I agree. I don't really have a whole lot more to say about him. I mean, I watched that behind the scenes Werewolf by Night thing. I hope he directs more stuff. He's got a nice visual style. He's, obviously his bread and butter is in, or his swipe rightness is in
scoring.
Yes. Yeah. but he's a movie lover, film
Yeah.
lover, so he has the ability to do so. So I'm hoping he'll do something else pretty soon.
Yeah, he's enthusiastic. Speaking of original, DP is Jess Hall. It's a man baby. I had to go through and do some clever editing on our last episode because I misgendered Alicia Christian, also known as Elijah Christian, who was the DP for I Know What You Did Last Summer. And so I had to take out the she's.
Nice.
Speaking of some background,
that's fun.
TV.
That's a fun modern thing to have to do in the world of editing.
Yeah, I know. It also sounded super weird. I sounded like the In-N-Out Burger speakerphone thing. Like, anyway, Jess Hall. He is the son of.
You don't have to talk about your dating days when they called you In-N-Out Burger. We don't have to talk about that.
I have a job and I'd like to keep it. So Jess Hall, son of famed sociologist, cultural theorist, political activist Stuart Hall. Jess Hall actually grew up in Jamaica and then moved to Britain. And so his cinematography is often inspired, as he says, by the tension between the intense, powerful light of the Caribbean and then the soft silver gray light of Northern Europe. But I love this man's eye. Okay, sometimes the movies he's the director of photography for aren't great, but the visuals are always fantastic. So Jess Hall, he shot
which eye?
His not the brown eye, but
hey,
not the brown eye. But so let's talk about the rich visuals of his films, the live action Ghosts in the Shell. I mean, think what you will of that movie, but man, did that thing look amazing.
I didn't see it, but the trailer looked really nice. I will say that.
Oh, you have to see it. Rupert Sanders is in fucking movie jail because after Ghost in the Shell, The Crow bombed. You will not hear from Rupert Sanders anymore.
No.
Hall also shot Transcendence, which was directed by Christopher Nolan's favorite DP, Wally Pfister. FF. Swipe right.
Fist steps.
Lord, we're gonna get banned from YouTube. All the fetishes are coming out today. What the hell is going on? So he also shot Hot Fuzz and Son of Rambo, Rambow, one of the first films for what's his face? He's so cute. I can think of him right now.
Will Poulter.
Will Poulter. That's right. Death of a Unicorn, and
which I always forget. I always forget he was English. Well, he is English, right?
Yes, he is British.
Yeah, he was. I'd say he was. He's so Americanized now.
He is. You don't. Yeah. I mean, we think of like We're the Millers. And all the stuff that he does.
Funny in that. Yeah, that's actually a better film than I anticipated being.
Jess Hall. I've actually seen Jess Hall in real life. He was there for the standard premiere at my first Sundance. He was the cinematographer of that, which also was kind of a throwback because it was all like done on a super low budget, supposed to be in the 70s. So again, I think the guy totally, was made for this kind of calling.
What was that again?
It's called Standard. I had Thomas Jane in it. It's like a true story about a bad
Lawrence Fishburne.
cop gun. Yeah.
Yeah, when we interviewed name dropping, when we interviewed Thomas Jane, we talked about Standard quite a bit because it has kind of a Eurocrime feel to it in a modern.
Totally does.
It does actually. Also, didn't he do frontal nudity in that? Anyway,
he did some underwater nudity in that.
Oh, yeah, he did.
I love Thomas Jane. He's my favorite. Jess Hall also shot Chevalier in 2022. And recently the Karma video for Taylor Swift, and then the Matt Shakman directed episodes on Monarch, Legacy of Monsters, and WandaVision.
Which Shakman worked on Monarch, didn't he? Yeah.
He did just a couple episodes. Yeah. All right. Moving on to cast, and we're going to try to get through this really quickly. I
apologize in advance for all your listeners, and I apologize to Jose who has to do the editing on these things. Same thing I tell Joe. Same thing I tell Rob and Joe on Caliber 9, because a lot of times when me and them two guys record, it's like 4 hours, 4.5 hours. Because we just start shooting the shit in between conversation about the show. I can't help it. I love talking.
Yeah, but we love it. You know,
Yeah, you'll get some gold out of it. You'll get some gold. You'll get some
Oh,
stuff that could potentially get you banned from YouTube and possibly the internet in general. But
it'll be great.
yeah,
It's
I'm
always great.
yeah, I'm one of the few people that can actually go, dark web on a regular web show. So
It's true. I mean, listen, our Superman episode was 2 hours and there were no pluses. So anyway, all right, let's get through the cast. Try to get through the cast really quickly, and then I always say that, and then I'm like, oh, I'd like to shout out these 20 people that showed up.
well,
Anyway,
I think our lead we don't really have to talk a lot about because he's everywhere, right? We all love him. He's everywhere. So you
he
can
is Pedro Pascal, ubiquitous, sexy Chilean it man, frequent flyer on Watch Get Plus. By the way, I talked about him on
Yeah.
Editing
That's what I'm saying.
episode 128, Materialist, 106, Gladiator 2, episode 69, Drive Away Dolls.
Oh,
But
he's in that. He's in that too.
he, yeah,
He really,
Yes.
he really, yeah, he really has become like when I was a kid, it was like Dabney Coleman was everywhere.
oh
Or
my god,
yeah, and I was just like, this guy is in everything. Pedro Pascal, he is working his ass off.
he is. But you know what? Everybody seems to say the same thing. He is the sweetest, nicest guy you could ever
that's why I
love.
hate him.
Apparently, he's also very, very naughty. There's a lot of in jokes when he gives interviews or whatever. But I don't know. I love him. I will
Mhm.
continue to sort of
I do too.
watch whatever he does. So a couple things I just wanted to mention. Fun fact, because he was in Wonder Woman 1984.
Yeah, he was in that too.
fact,
Jesus.
he was in the pilot for the David E. Kelly. David E. Kelly did like Ally McBeal and a bunch of these.
Picket Fences was a show David E. Kelly did that I loved. Picket
Which
Fences.
one?
Yes.
Picket
Picket
Fences.
Love that movie.
Also, David E. Kelly is winning because he married Michelle Pfeiffer. But anyway,
Oh, man,
David,
is he ever
David E.
winning?
Kelly tried to reboot Wonder Woman in 2011. There was
Yeah.
a failed pilot starring Adrienne Palicki, Carrie Elwes, and Elizabeth Hurley. Pedro Pascal was in it. He played a character called Ed in Canto or something like
Yeah.
that. But he's
He
in
really
it. It's
is.
very weird.
Yeah, he really is the guy that's just, he's just put the work in. I hate to say that. It's such a sports phrase, but it's true. He's just
Yes.
the guy that just kept putting the work in until something just clicked with audiences. And I don't know that he's a mega box office star, but he seems to have everybody's respect.
Yes, everybody's in
If-
his corner and his
Yeah.
support.
If there is ever so slight a tinge coming around the corner of this guy might be overexposed, there is a slight tinge of that. The
It's
last
coming.
part, yeah. There's been some other people do it, but I think about the early '90s with Fred Durst of
Or
Limp Bizkit.
Jude Law.
I bet you guys never thought Pedro Pascal, Fred Durst, yeah, similar. But hey, that's where my brain is. Swipe right, swipe right. But but Fred Durst was during the height of Limp Bizkit, new metal, everything else, MTV, Carson Daly. Fred Durst was there every day. It's like he never was not on MTV. He was everywhere. The music is whatever, I like it, but the music is whatever. But even if people do turn on Pedro Pascal, and they turn on everybody eventually, let's be honest. I'm not saying turn as in, oh, he's evil. I mean, turn as in, I'm not going to go see any more of those Pedro Pascal movies.
Oh, he's got such a fan base. The Pascal sexuals are everywhere, bro.
Right here, right
That's
here.
what I was saying.
I saw. So the second thing I wanted to mention was, I went down a weird rabbit hole, but like I was watching these TikTok videos of him in New York, and people just swarm him. He's
Yeah.
walking to a goddamn restaurant and people are swarming him. He's coming out of the restaurant and people won't leave him alone. Every now and then he does like a nice thing and he says, "Hey, I love that," or "Thank you," or whatever, but they just won't leave him alone. And strangely, in these TikTok clips I was watching, there was this weirdo Asian lady with glasses. She was in every fucking video. I was like, that bitch is stalking him. What? Oh my God, it was too much. But
That was
speaking
my,
of the,
my disguise. Please don't speak it anymore.
actually, it was my disguise, folks. She had glasses. It was actually me. I can.
Glasses as well. Put a lot of makeup on this beard, and you can't see it.
But speaking of the backlash, it would appear that on X that they're sort of, I think, doing a smear campaign against him because he's a staunch supporter of LGBTQ.
Yeah,
His sister is trans.
Yeah, that's right.
He talks about it all the time. There was
very-
that weird
he's
thing
very
where they called
vocal.
him like daddy. Yeah, but
Very
apparently
vocal,
on
yeah.
X that's happening. They're kind of lambasting him for his
The
left.
right wing ultra enthusiast. I'll just say that word. Some of them are turning, but whatever. I mean, there's always going to be that. There's no need to talk about that any further than that.
Oh, the last thing I wanted to say was this is the first time I think for a Marvel movie where I mean, I know the actors because I'm such a like movie geek, but I
Yeah,
think
we all
this is
do,
the
right?
first time where it's a big name is now the lead person. Like I don't think
Well, yeah,
the
I guess Robert Downey
Captain.
Jr. was a big name, but then he wasn't a big name.
Yeah.
Yes. But since then, it's always been, these sort of like low, I'm not going to say lower tier, but these actors that they promote and then people think of them only as that character. I think this is the first time in recent memory where an actor has taken the role and I don't immediately think of the character itself. I think actor.
Yeah, as you can see on YouTube can see as well on the camera, I'm looking around the room because I'm trying to process my internal data banks here and trying to think of where else I've seen that.
Loading.
Yeah, 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 yeah. For I'm
Upload.
an Apple gas, so the little circle. Now
Yes.
I guess Benedict Cumberbatch. I guess is not really he don't count because but see he's kind of interesting because you see him and you think Doctor Strange and Sherlock. He kind of
Yes.
crossed over into both. I'm trying to think if there's. I feel like there is another one, but maybe not. Maybe you are right. I don't know. Some of them. It's so weird to me how some of these actors can take a role like this and it's almost Teflon. They can just move on to something else.
Sebastian Stan.
Sebastian Stan's a good example. Florence Pugh's a good example.
Yes.
David Harbour's a good example. Well, David Harbour's more of a character actor, so they don't really count. He's not really a lead most of the time. I just saw him in Brokeback Mountain. I forgot he was in that. Um,
I'd like to.
Oh, wow.
I'm not going to finish that sentence. I'm sorry.
yeah, yeah. Swipe right, swipe right. The but it is interesting you say that because some of these guys became synonymous. For me,
Chris
it's
Evans.
yeah, Chris Evans definitely. But for me, the most interesting one is really Robert Downey Jr. because he was a great actor, a troubled person, but a great actor before, a huge talent. Everybody could see it. Self-destructive, obviously. Became a gigantic star because of the Marvel Universe, and it's both a blessing and a curse in his case.
Yeah.
He can do anything he wants, but he's got so much power within that world that they brought him back
Right. And
because
it's
they're
curious
almost.
if.
It feels to me like they're almost scared. They're almost
Oh
scared
yeah.
to not have Robert Downey Jr. at this point. Like he's their good luck charm, and they're like, please come.
Come back, help us. But if you listen to our Oppenheimer episode, we were so jazzed with Downey's performance in Oppenheimer. We were like, he's been stuck in superhero movies.
Yep.
That's the Downey Jr. we want to see.
He is. I will say this right now, and I totally believe this. He is one of the best actors of his generation. He doesn't get mentioned a lot because he's such a mega star because of comic book films. But that guy, I mean, even though Chaplin's not a great film, that is an amazing performance
It
of
is.
Charlie Chaplin. And if you go look at most of Robert Downey's performances, even in bad films, he is amazing in them. He has that character actor ability with movie star good looks, and he's so natural. It's unbelievable how natural he is in front of the camera.
It's interesting that the power of his acting comes with that life experience and that baggage.
Yeah. That guy, I mean, he reached as rock bottom as you can reach pretty much in Hollywood.
Oh, he did.
It's amazing he turned that around. Like it's rare for somebody to turn that around. Would he be canceled nowadays? Would he be canceled? I think he would be nowadays. You think if he up like that again, you think he'll get canceled?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I hate that word, by the way. I hate the word.
I know.
Canceled, yeah.
Moving on, we have Vanessa Kirby, the White Widow herself. She's been on episode 48 and 125, Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning Part 1, and then Final Masturbation, whatever it was called. She's probably best known as Shaw's awesome sister in Hobbs and Shaw, which was kind of a worthless but fun guilty pleasure spinoff of the Fast and the Furious. Probably also best known as Prince Margaret in The Crown, and then she's coming up with the soon-to-be-released Ron Howard film Eden. The only thing I know about that is Jude Law gets his penis out. That's literally all I know about that film. But I love Vanessa Kirby. She's gorgeous. What do we think about her?
I'll tell you what I think about her in a second, but also Jude Law is, I was just thinking about this the other day. He is the leader of scowling in cinema right now.
I know, but you
He,
know what? It is some sexy scowling,
it
and I'm
is,
here
it
for
is,
it.
it is. He's a great actor, underrated.
Yeah,
Vanessa,
but every character of his is bitter. You're right. They're
yeah,
all
yeah,
bitter.
yeah. They're all bitter, angry. You know, he's an, he doesn't seem like, well, maybe he is angry in real life. I don't know. I mean, he is letting himself gradually go bald. I love it.
Yeah. No
He's
more hair pieces.
yeah, naturally aging, which is really great. He's a great actor. Vanessa Kirby for me is not a great actor.
Oh,
I always feel like she's trying too hard with those eyes of hers.
well,
She's trying really hard.
it's interesting you mentioned that because when I saw her as the White Widow in the Mission Impossible films, she has that like icy Hitchcock kind
She
of
does.
vibe going on.
Yeah.
But the problem is that sometimes it's a little too icy. Like I think it's
So that's my thing. I don't feel any warmth with her. I'm not saying
yeah, there's no warmth. It's
I'm
very
not saying
weird.
she's not a good actress. I guess I am saying it, but I'm not saying it. I just haven't seen anything. You know, you guys, we all have this. I have not seen anything for me with her where I've really kind of bought in. Even here, the iciness is dialed way back, but she still felt icy to me.
Yeah, I felt that too. And don't watch Napoleon, man. She is a shrew in that.
She is a shrew.
I mean, she might that might be her a lot as an actress.
Her stock and trade.
And maybe 20 years from now I'll be like, man, I was wrong. She really nails the icy princess roles. She
Oh
really
my God! Now I can't wait to see Eden between Sour Law and Icy Kirby.
yeah.
Might
There'll be a lot
great.
of scowling. He'll get his, he'll get his swipe he'll get the swipe right out,
Yes.
and she'll
Thoughts?
FF all over it.
Oops.
I think Sammy, you need to see Pieces of a Woman, and I think you'll change your mind a little bit if you haven't
Oh,
seen it
Sammy's
yet.
seen Pieces of a Woman.
Yeah.
Come on. With
Just
oh, ha, ha, ha. But I mean, it's that movie is a mess because Mandrus. So I can't say his name. I like
Who?
his films, but
Petrushka?
Cornel Mandrux,
What?
Mandruxo, I think is his name. Mandruxo. He's Cornel
What are you
Mandruxo's done the director of Pieces of a Woman, which
Hold
I
on,
think
I'm gonna look at it too, because
it's got Shia LaBeouf and Ellen Burstyn. It was a Netflix film because it got kind of screwed over with 2020 and everything that happened.
Cornel Mandrusho.
Mandruxo. I can't say.
Yeah. No, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. And Mike's, in fairness to Mike, that's a tough one though.
That's tough. Shia LaBeouf is good in it. The movie's too long and needs some help with editing. But I mean, it's an actor's film, and Vanessa really impressed me in that. And I've seen her in a few other smaller roles but yeah, she does play these characters that are kind of cold. And even going through the grief that she does in that film, she seems kind of cold and off-putting. And I think that's just who she is. But I kind of felt some warmth in her in this at points, but other times I felt like she's just a mean ass mama bear when it came to that baby. But yeah, maybe that's who she is. She's just kind of cold as a person, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. This has got an interesting cast. I might check it out at some point. Of course, Shia LaBeouf
You
is.
should. It's good. It is good.
I know he's a good actor. He's super talented. He's also, let's be honest, he's certifiably insane. We know this.
He is.
He's definitely on the Robert Downey Jr. Career train.
Yeah. He better be careful though, because he keeps dipping. Also, just for fun, we got to mention there is an actor in Pieces of a Woman called Frank Shorpion. SCHORPION. So it's not a scorpion. He's a Shorpion. How
Hey, that's my Grinder profile name. Stop.
Scorpion.
Scorpion.
Sorry.
Moving on.
Look, I think Vanessa Kirby's fine, but there is also this thing for me. It might be the hair eyebrow combo. I know that sounds so vacuous and so shallow, but I really don't like dark eyebrows, light hair. It's just not a thing for me. But I just
Very 80s. All she's missing is the overdrawn lip line.
Yeah, I just don't like that. It just doesn't really attract me toward her in any way. And I got to have that initial attraction, even for male actors, to be honest with you, that I, want to be them or want to be around them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Not necessarily sexuality, but you got to have that. There's a natural chemistry you kind of feel. And I just never really, I haven't felt it with her yet. She's early in her career. I'm not saying she won't be she could be winning multiple Oscars in 10, 15 years. I have no idea. But right now, I haven't felt it. And this film didn't do anything to make me feel it yet either.
She looks like she'd be fun to gossip with and like snark people with.
Yeah, I'm sure she's fun. I'm sure she's, I'm sure that they had a lot of fun on this. I feel like they had fun on this film.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Moving on, we've got Ebon Moss-Barach. I love a talented, sexy Jewish American man. He's currently awarded and accoladed. Is that a word? I don't know. For FX's
Yeah.
The Bear, 2 Emmys. Best known for his breakout role as Desi on HBO's Girls. Also did Full Frontal Nudity. We're going everywhere here, kids.
Yeah.
Recently, he was on the streaming horror film Hold Your Breath with Sarah Paulson, the revisionist teen sex comedy No Hard Feelings with Jennifer Lawrence. Hysterical and amazing. Everybody, please check that out. And then Lena
his
Dunham's
career, his career is very interesting because he's worked a lot. But this
So he was also in Lena Dunham's Sharp Stick. But what's interesting about Boss Bacharach is that I think literally since 2000 and maybe 2, I think he's logged like 3 or 4 movies or projects every year. So he is in fact a working actor. But personally, I think he's always been a shining like indie actor star. And you need only look at the fact that coming in 2026, he and John Bernthal are going to be in the stage adaptation of Dog Day Afternoon. Attica! I can't wait to see that. It's going to be great.
That could be great. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's hiding here, obviously, for the most part.
Pretty much.
But that was my favorite thing.
Yeah.
About the film.
Excellent.
I kill myself. Oh, also, these guys.
The best thing about this.
He needs to capitalize on controversy and put a cologne out called Ebon Musk. You know what I'm saying? Whoa, dad joke mixed in with the whoa. Hey,
Wah, wah.
Jose loves the dad jokes.
I do. I mean, listen. The Cinemasochist, my first host, Red, was like the prime dad joker. All right, moving on. We've got Joseph Quinn. He's been on our show recently. Gladiator 2, episode 106. Feature film debut in Julius Avery's horror Nazi film, hybrid sci-fi horror film Overlord. Recently, he's played leads in A Quiet Place Day 1, and he was magnificent in Alex Garland's Warfare.
So good in that.
Yet. I did see Quiet Day 1. God, that's hard to say. I did see
Let's stay on.
He was the lead in that. He's really good in that.
The movie is kind of average, but it's fun. But it was a fun like movie theater movie, right? Like jump scare, loud. Yeah.
I could have taken or left him in Gladiator 2. I
still haven't watched that. I just don't know if I can. Even if that can, I just don't know if I can.
It's awful.
Yeah. I mean, that might be reason enough to watch it.
Yes, but
Quinn's
I'll put my
Ebon Musk on, punch it.
Quinn's star is definitely on the rise. Very
he's generationally popular. Because I'll tell you this, we went to the theater. I saw this last night, less than 10 or 12 hours ago. I was out late last night. And there's a certain contingent of teenage boys and teenage girls that when he came on, they were like, woo!
Stranger Things.
Eddie Munson. They love that character.
Yep, they really do. So, and to be honest with you, I don't really love Stranger Things. I like it. I don't love it. But I do love that Eddie Munson character because
he's a great character.
Yeah, I identify with that character because that was me for a good chunk of high school. I was
Didn't see that. You was a Hesher.
I was a Hesher. That's right. I was that guy, man.
It's interesting that Quinn has scored all of these great projects. And where is what's his face with the big head? Where's Joe Keery? Do we see Joe Keery in anything?
He's really working on music. I think he's got a new album coming out, actually. Or as the kids say, I heard Mike say this last week. I just listened to your all's episode yesterday too. He drops singles a lot. He drops records.
He drops singles.
All these, we live in this streaming world where I hear my kids in the car say, "Yo, Cardi just dropped a new album, dude. Cardi just dropped a new album. Yo."
All the time.
And I'm like, what the hell's going on in this car? What the hell's going on?
What's dropping?
What?
Don't tell me something's dropping. That sounds like money.
Dropping things, you're going to break them. What they don't realize is, and this is the young generation. What they don't realize is these guys are oversaturating the market, and because of that, their popularity wanes very quickly. It comes back, but it usually wanes very quickly. But I'll hear, "Oh, Drake dropped this. Oh, Drake's the greatest rapper of all time." 2 months later, dude, Drake's album sucks, man. And I'm like,
Yeah.
So fickle, so fickle.
I know it's just the way it is right now.
Moving on, Julia Garner, episode 108, Wolfman, famously cast to play Madonna in a biopic, which was postponed because she toured. I think that's going to be a series now. We all know Julia Garner from Ozarks, 3 Emmys, a Golden Globe, and a partridge in a pear tree. Recent films,
Yeah.
Apartment 7A, the Rosemary's Baby prequel, Inventing Anna, The Royal Hotel.
Oh, that one I really liked. That was the one. I couldn't remember the title. I really liked that one. Hotel.
Fun fact about Julia Garner, not only did she start taking acting classes to overcome painful shyness, but she studied clown, folks, at the École Philippe Gaulier in France.
Yeah. All right.
Clown? Maybe we should have her go in makeup and sing Happy Birthday to Troy. I think he would love it.
I would pay to see that.
Julia Garner, what do we think of her?
I like her, and we're going to be talking about her soon. And she's in the new Craigers film Weapons. I think we're going to be talking about her again.
That's right. She's going to be coming up in Weapons.
Yep. So I do like her. I think that she, again, Ozark, I think really kind of opened everyone's eyes to her, but she's got a complexity. But the problem is sometimes she gets caught in that doe-eyed look where she just kind of stays there. And I feel like a lot of Wolfman's problems kind of lie within that. While I still like the film, she's kind of the weak link in it. But I usually do like her.
Yeah, I
can be a little icy too.
Yeah, I can. Yeah. She can be. I think she's a good actress, a little bit better than Kirby right now. But I do agree with Mike. She's got this doe-eyed thing that she heavily relies on, and it's a little. She's really good at it, but it's also a little obnoxious.
Yes.
And she even uses it in this. And well, that kind of pretends to the film, so I'm not going to talk about that right now. But I do like her. I liked her in Royal Hotel quite a bit, and I've liked her in a few. I haven't seen Wolfman yet. I will check it out at some point. I know it's a little different than the typical werewolf film, but in some ways the same. Actually, I almost bought it on iTunes the other day because it's like $8. Oh. I love digital purchases.
Hey, that was Mike's first film. Inaugural
first
film.
I remember. Yeah. I'm a listener. Come on, guys. Come on. I listen to every episode. Ones I'm on.
Just a couple more shout outs for the cast. I knew I was going to say this. Natasha Lyonne pops up in this. I love her. Also on the Robert Downey Jr. track, career wise, but she has sprung back up. Poker Face is a big thing for her.
Hepatitis helped her get straight. So there we go.
Yeah. Yes.
I think she contracted hepatitis at one point, and I can't remember what happened, but obviously she's doing much better. Her role is going to be part of the problem I have with this film. Not her, and not that character or that idea, but part of the issues I had with this movie is around that little subplot.
Interesting. I can't wait. Sarah Niles, black actress, she's having quite the summer. She was featured not only in F1, but she is in this. She's an ambassador with the Future Foundation. She shows up in the UN scenes. Mark Gatiss opens the show as sort of like the talk show host, but although he is an actor, many will know him because he often collaborates with Stephen Moffat, a big prolific producer. They are both behind the reboot of Doctor Who, Sherlock, speaking of Benedict Cumberbatch, and then the recent Dracula that they tried to get off the ground as well. So he's a prolific screenwriter, TV actor, producer, big name guy. Paul Walter Hauser is also in this. He played.
He's having a good time here. He's having fun.
He is definitely having a good time. Many will know him from Richard Jewell, the Clint Eastwood drama. Little streamer Clint Eastwood, juror number 2.
Juror number 2. Yeah. Just a Clint Eastwood directed film. Just a little streamer. That was that
tiny streamer. He played Larry Hall in Blackbird, the Apple TV series. So up and coming actor. Love that guy. And then I'm going to mention, because he plays Galactus here, Ralph Ineson, British actor. Recently, you would have seen him in Nosferatu, The
Yeah.
Green Knight, The Witch, as well as The First Omen. I happen to think he's spankingly hot. He kind of looks like a sexy Inspector Gadget, but you know what? It is what it is.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, Eggers likes him quite a bit. He's got a great voice.
It is.
He's got a great face.
yeah.
And when I first heard he was cast as Galactus, I was like, I don't know. But now when I see the film, I'm like, well, I don't know who else could have done it.
Yeah, he was
Oh,
great.
yeah. Ralph Ineson, I love you.
Yeah,
Swipe
he is
right,
great.
please.
He's great in The Witch. I haven't seen him in Nosferatu yet, but he is great in The Witch. I did like him a lot in that.
He's
Yeah.
really good in The First Omen. Like,
I'll have to check it out.
Oh, he is.
but he's
Yeah.
really good in it.
He is.
All right, now I'm dying because we've all hinted at it. I want to start with Sammy. Sammy, your spoiler-free thoughts on Fantastic Four: First Steps.
So we settled in to watch this one. Obviously it's a Marvel film, so my son likes to go see these still because he grew up with that stuff.
Yeah,
And I
guessed
watched
it on
him-
our episodes.
Yeah. He's a little, he's in a different space nowadays than the podcasting thing, but he has valued opinions. His opinion of this one was pretty much the same as mine. The basic thing is I like this film. I certainly did not love this film. My biggest problem with this film, there is a lot of jokes and in comedy here that does not land. The theater was deathly quiet
Oh,
at a lot of these Joseph Quinn moments and some of these other little moments that I have seen so many movies in movie theaters, and I have seen some bad jokes, folks. I have seen bad jokes, and people will laugh. You hear a little bit of something, right? You hear a little something, like a golf clap or, something like that.
a chortle.
Yeah, a chortle, a laugh because they tried. But man, this one was like crickets every time. And I don't even know if you guys noticed the amount of jokes. There's a ton of them, actually.
There are.
None of them actually work until the one moment where Ben and Joseph Quinn, as the wacky uncles, Ben's on the bed and he's across the way throwing a football. And he's like, no, you go check. No, you go check. No, thanks for checking, though. I appreciate that. No, thanks for checking. No, you go ahead, And then she pops up and everything else. That worked. And from that point on, the jokes kind of worked. You know why? Because from that point on, I felt connected to two of the characters, Joseph Quinn and Ben Grimm. Well, Ebon Musk, as we say. No, but I felt connected to those characters. I never, for the first hour and 20 minutes of this film or so, I never really felt connected to this Fantastic Four family. They felt disconnected to me, if anything. Like the only common denominator was their love of Herbie. And that was, Herbie was fun because he was like this, basically this avatar for a dog or a pet.
Sure.
And he was fun. I really did connect with the Thing, which I knew I would because that's of the Fantastic Four characters. That's the one I've always identified with the most. I've always identified with the alter ego characters. I love werewolves. I love the Incredible Hulk. I love the Thing. I love these kind of Freudian Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type characters because, I'm a firm believer that we all have a secret person that we are. The real us, we don't always show to everybody. We typically show it to only the people we're closest with. And I think this is a natural human thing. We're all kind of a little worried that somebody might, judge that real us a little bit. And
Or
we don't
reject us.
Yeah, we don't want to expose that too much, right? So what I love about those characters is they have to wear that on the outside. And can you imagine what life is like if you have to wear that inner being on the outside? I'm not saying the Thing is that because it's a different kind of setup, but it is kind of that. And they kind of go into it a little bit in this film. And that's part of the problem I have with this movie. This movie feels like it's got little plot lines and stuff, and they just keep getting dropped. Like they're dropping singles like Drake, baby. They're just dropping them left and right.
Yes.
I'm waiting for the autocorrect or the auto tune to come in. Like, I heard Mike do a little nation of a modern hip hop last week.
We'll get some more of that.
That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like to me. I mean, but unfortunately, that sound's become part of the zeitgeist. Anyway,
Yeah.
so the Natasha Lyonne character shows up. This is what 20 minutes into the film. Ben's walking around Brooklyn. He's got the Brooklyn hat on, and I kept looking at all the clothes Ben was wearing because I knew they had to be tailor made. I couldn't get past the hats. The hats just cracked me up every time. He always had a hat on, and they're always these oversized hats. And I know they're computer generated, but they still just look so ridiculous. But they look cool too, right? And Natasha Lyonne comes out, and there's this whole thing backstory in the comics, but I'm not going to behold it to the comics. It tries, and it does pretty well with the comic ideas that the Fantastic Four does. But what I like about the thing is he feels like a monster. But they do some cool things here where I love the kids, and for that matter, he sounds like, let's be honest, he sounds like he could be on an episode of The Sopranos.
Or Goodfellas, right?
Yeah,
as the muscle.
Yeah, this particular version of the thing, sounds like, hey, get over here.
Hey, thought I'd drop by and see you.
Yeah, the gabagool. Bring it over there, gabagool. But he feels like that. But I like that. I like that about his character. And look, Pedro Pascal's fine in this film. They give Mr. Fantastic a lot of stuff here, a lot of pathos as well, where, what would it be like to be the world's smartest man and not be able to solve a problem because you have emotional attachment? That's a good plot thread. That's a good idea.
Definitely.
Unfortunately, I feel like they drop that too. And it turns into this weird kind of marriage drama in the middle. And at that point, I don't care about Vanessa Kirby and I don't care about Pedro Pascal anymore. And that's weird to say because I always love Pedro, but I fell out of love with Mr. Fantastic here for a while. He came back around, but I fell out of love with him for a while here. I think this film is at its best when it's doing the Ben Grimm stuff and Natasha Lyonne comes in and, I thought, they're going to explore this a little bit. This will be fun. This will kind of make Ben Grimm even more human.
Nope.
They really only come back to it twice. So once he sees her at a distance, she sees him at a distance. Good scene, but just a little moment. The other, they're in a synagogue, I believe. Yes. And there's a good moment there. But those emotional moments are just dropped. The Joseph Quinn stuff, I found him, the Human Torch is typically a kind of an irritating character in the Marvel Universe anyway. He's kind of a young whippersnapper. But I knew we were in trouble right from the get-go when, like, Vanessa Kirby's character says, that's my brother, and he is very single. I was like, oh, boy. We're going to have some type of element of Joseph Quinn looking to get laid probably in this film, which, of course, we did.
Yeah.
All of this to say, I think this film is incredibly muddled, and it feels made behind the scenes. Like it feels like they shot one film and it feels like they cut a whole bunch of stuff out and streamlined it. It also, I hate to say this, I did like it, but it feels incredibly dry. So here's the thing. I was thinking about this last night. Is it a saltine? Is it a Ritz cracker? Or is it a club cracker? Now, I say those things because that's three different types of crackers. And if you eat crackers, saltines are your basic cracker. Pretty plain, like salt, that's it. Dry mouth, yada, yada, yada. Ritz, a little bit more flavor. Maybe put some cheese on there, a piece of salami. Yeah, the gabagool, something, a little bit better. My personal favorite is the club cracker. Of course, it's probably a little bit more fatty, right? So, of course, the most because
lots of butter.
Yeah, we all love our fat and we all love our butter. And sometimes butter with the FF. But get the butter. Get the butter. You got somebody in the corner like me going, I can't believe it's not butter. Anyway. Which reminds me of an independent film you should check out called Duck Butter. You should definitely check that out. If you guys don't know what duck butter is, look it up.
No, don't look it up.
Yeah, in a sexual connotation, look it up. I knew Jose would. Look at him typing. Anyway,
that's already going to town. Don't look it up. I told you.
Yeah, baby. Anyway, so this was a weird experience for me because it did feel like it was dry that way. But usually with these superhero films, when I dislike them is when they go CGI heavy. This one is weird because I actually enjoyed the CGI elements more than I enjoyed the human elements. And that was a weird experience for me. I thought Galactus was cool. I didn't really like this Silver Surfer that much. I thought she was fine, but I like they gave her a little bit of a backstory and they kind of touch on the Silver Surfer's backstory. I still think I like the Silver Surfer, the Doug Jones one, the most in the second of those Fantastic Four movies. I think it
Yeah.
was it him?
Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
So
Who was the voice of that? Was it Larry Fishburne?
Larry
Fishburne.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I like that Silver Surfer more. The Silver Surfer is a goofy yet completely tragic character that if they could ever
Mhm.
do it right cinematically, it would be a very heavy film. I don't think they'll
Yeah.
ever do it because I don't think he's B level.
Yeah.
Um, people hear the name even they're like, why's he got a surfboard? And I'm like, even here they give you a little bit of backstory into the Silver Surfer character, and it's like it still makes no sense that they have a surf.
It's not part of his body.
Yeah,
Sorry.
there is that part. Yeah, that is
That
actually
was fun.
that is a good joke. Yeah, but I like the Galactus stuff. I like when they get in outer space. I like when they're doing the Fantastic Four stuff. I like the Subterranea stuff. I actually wish they would have explored that more. I thought that was kind of fun. And the political elements of the Subterranea stuff. I love that the Hauser character um, trusts Sue above all things because he just personally feels a connection with her. And I love the little tidbit of him like, I know you want this. I want him to ask. Like he
Yes.
totally wants Reed Richards' appreciation. He's just not going to get it, right? So I like those elements of the story. I like the comic bookness of it a little bit, but it just felt overall very dry. And by the end, I was like, well, they've set this thing up, and I won't get into this now. We'll get into spoilers. They've set this thing up for possibly only one character to save the day. And if you can't see it coming, you've never seen a movie before. I'll say that. I mean, you can kind of see what's going to happen. I won't say that I completely saw the way they got where they got. That's good English. Where they're going. Where they got on the Superman episode just a couple weeks ago. I was saying I really hated how it got so CGI heavy at the back end. This one is the total opposite. I loved when it got CGI heavy, probably because Galactus is cool. Galactus is cool, and I won't go into this now. I'll wait till spoilers. But Galactus is cool. That's all I'm going to say. The idea of Galactus, the idea you can kind of see the genesis of what they're going to do here. Obviously, there's a stinger mid-credit, so we kind of know where all this is going to go going forward with another character. All this is to say it's kind of a light watch for me. Honestly, even if you're just waiting for the next Marvel cycle to kick off, this is kind of a kickoff to it in some ways. I would say you don't even need to see it because I don't think it's going to give you a lot to where they're headed. It feels standalone, and at the same time, it feels connected, and in that way, it feels disconnected from everything, and not in a good way. It feels dry. I don't think all the acting is great. Again, I think some of it's great, some of it's not. But and I know I say this all the time about Marvel. There's moments where it feels like a real film, and there's moments where it just feels like a TV show, and it always does that to me. And for this one, it's mostly the front end. I don't mind the quiche-ness of the set design. Actually, that's probably one of the best things about the film is the set design and the look and the production design. But man, I just never really felt like these four were as tight as they pretended to be. So there you go, light watch.
Nice. Mike, you're up. Can't wait.
Okay. I feel very similar to Sam actually. Honestly, to me, this is like a Fabergé egg. Very beautiful, very ornate. You want to really get close to study what it is, but when you go to touch it, it's so light, it falls apart, it's so fragile. That's what this felt like. Beautiful to look at, gorgeous production design. I liked the whole future retro. It reminded me of the old school comics. But the problem with the Fantastic Four is that as a whole, and always has been, kind of a little bit goofy, kind of a little soap opera, and I'm just made for kids stuff. And even as when I was really into comics in my like 10 to 16-year-old age, they weren't comics I read because they were like kid stuff. Like when I put down Archie comics, I put down Fantastic Four. My kids ate this film up. I mean, they loved it. They loved this version of Johnny Storm, which I kind of like the smartass from Chris Evans version a little bit better. This one seems just kind of so milquetoast, as you put it so well. He just seems so like 50s Boy Scout, just such a good guy, you know. And golly geez, I mean, he's felt even more like corny than Superman. So it's just, the character to me just didn't quite work. It just felt like it was trying to be the perfect Silver Age comic book put on screen for people who loved that stuff when they were little. But again, it just feels like much to do about nothing because there's no depth. There's nothing really, like Sam said, we don't get into the family dynamic to know much more than what is given to us in the surface. What's right there. It's beautiful to look at. Oh no, you're the trusted like science person. You're all over the place, and you have to basically admit that you're deciding to keep your child safe over the world. That's a huge plot point, which is kind of spoiled in the trailer there. But that's his whole entire concept. That's his whole, which we do get the sweet, loving, like he's kind of the Superman of this world where he's feels the weight of the world, but he also wants to keep his family safe.
Yeah.
And yeah, we get that.
The thing about the element, I do like the idea of we're not going to give up our child to save the world. I like that idea. The problem I have is the resolution of it in this film. I know it's a movie, but I don't buy this at all.
Yeah.
There's almost like too much of that like idealism of 1960s TV, that simplicity, that honesty of like turning on an Andy Griffith episode and knowing that the drunk's going to go to jail and get out the next day and keep living his life. And
the word I kept thinking of while I was watching it is this thing is struggling on its own kind of earnestness.
It's too earnest for its own good almost, but it doesn't have any weight to it. It doesn't have any heft to it. It doesn't feel like there's any real turmoil. You know what's going to happen. You know how it's going to end. The whole time, the problem with this feeling like it wants to be part of the MCU, but like being its own standalone and not even recognizing any part of the MCU really at all because it's its own world, its own Earth, its own thing. And to me, this kind of just felt empty. So beautiful to look at, really fun. I loved watching my kids get into it. My little girl just loved it, and she's 8. That was so tense, the whole baby sequence at the end. Like she just ate it up, and the kids ate it up. But for me, it just wasn't really for me. I still say, I guess, like you said, it's a soft watch, a light watch.
Yeah, I mean, and we're gonna find out what Jose thinks, but it just feels like there's a lot of good ideas, but they never really could follow a plot line to kind of get me involved for whatever reason. I don't know the history behind this film. I don't know how it was written, what kind of issues they ran into while shooting. I really don't keep up with the movie world as much as I used to when it comes to that kind of stuff. But if I had to guess, I'd guess that they started with the vaguest of ideas and kind of an idea of what to do, and then kind of wrote it as they kind of just went along, and everybody had a million different ideas, and then they just kind of put it all in there, and then in the editing room they were like, well, we don't need that, we don't need that, we don't need that. I'd almost guarantee there's like a 3-hour cut of this somewhere.
There has to be. It feels like this was cut down to be made to sell toys. When your two best characters are a robot and the talking rock, like what else? It's literally made to sell those toys, and that's what it feels like it was made for.
Robot, talking rock, giant man. Those are the 3 things you'll remember after this. And I will say that our giant man technology in movie history is getting better all the time, right? I mean, it looks like Ralph Ineson.
Is it?
I think it looks pretty good. I think it looks good. I liked him going through the city. I liked him jumping into the ocean.
It's very Godzilla, yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Very Godzilla.
Yeah, it was very Godzilla.
What does that dick look like? I'm just kidding.
Well, you definitely have one listener who's wondering. We know who that is.
28 dongs.
Galactus dong. We need to see it. All right. So
swipe right.
My spoiler-free thoughts on this. Oh boy. So I love the Fantastic Four. I do.
Clearly, you got the shirt on. You do. You got the shirt.
Yeah, you got the shirt.
Clearly.
I love the Fantastic Four. We should say that. And I think the same.
I agree. Very simple premise from the Jack Kirby era all the way up. It's really about the family and the family bonds and personalities and working through, because each one has their own separate personality. I'm not going to say I despise the Tim Story Fantastic Fours, but I despise the Tim Story Fantastic Fours. I I know everybody was like just, jizzing over Chris Evans and his portrayal of Johnny.
I only like the
Ob-
second one.
he-
Yeah.
Yeah,
Obnoxious
same.
as
Like,
fuck. Obnoxious, the extreme sports bullshit, like, oh, you're hot, the nurse, like, oh my God. I
Who was
fucking hate that.
Why am I drawing a blank on who Mr. Fantastic was? Who was? Oh, it was Ian Griffin.
Ewan,
Chris.
Ewan Griffrod, yeah.
Yeah. They
Jessica Alba, who people
Yeah,
were like, you chose a Mexican for Sue. Like everybody just eat a dick. Okay. Honestly, number 2 is much better than 1. I despise the Tim Story ones. I know that everybody saw the Josh Trank one and was like, this isn't my Fantastic Four and I don't like it. It's so dark and Cry Me a River. I actually like that movie. It took on the darker aspects of, how do you deal with getting these powers and not being who you used to be? Where do you go from that? And essentially in Trank's Fantastic Four, they were weaponized. That's why they were held captive in that thing, because they were going to be weapons. And it's like, where do you go from there?
Yeah, he's the Chronicle guy, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
I see why they. Yeah. Okay.
He's forever in jail.
Please Google the controversy on there, because let me tell you, one side says one thing, the other side says another.
Yeah.
But what is very clear is that he did not show up to set.
From everything I've read about him, he
He's an idea guy. That's about it.
Yeah, and he does not work well with producers, or he does not work within the system. Let's put it that way.
So I was really excited to see this one, right? I mean, I do love the cast. I think it's great. Joe Quinn, it's weird. Like sometimes I look at him and I'm like, you're really hot. And then I look at him again and I'm like, you're not really hot.
Yeah. And I don't get that vibe because obviously I'm not there, but I do look at him sometimes, think, man, you're really good. And then sometimes I look at him and think, man, you're not really as good as I thought you were.
Yeah, he's a weird conundrum. It's very strange.
In this film, I was like, okay, I can see him as Johnny Storm. And then like from the get-go, I'm like, ooh, I don't really like this Johnny Storm. And then there's moments in the middle where I'm like, ooh, I kind of like this Johnny Storm. And then it gets back to the end and I'm like, ooh, I really don't like this Johnny Storm. And that's how I felt about him. I kept wondering if they were going to address the clothes thing, which they never did, right? Because he'd flame.
Oh, like how do you what's going on? He should be naked when he comes down. Like there was no talk about the anyway.
Yeah, Landon and his friend who went with us, they were like, he never even said flame on. Like they went out of their way to make sure Ben says it's clobbering time. But they don't think that Johnny Storm ever said flame on, which they were offended by.
And that is my biggest problem with this film, is that it is a vision of the Fantastic Four, but it's not really the Fantastic Four. And this is okay, so here's the good stuff. The look of it is fantastic. The CGI is great. Beautiful. The retro futuristic thing, it's like New York meets the city from Fifth Element. Like it's wonderful. The costumes, all of it. It's got a beautiful look. It is slick.
Yeah, the Fantastic car is amazing. I loved it.
Yeah. The term I think about when I watch this film is it's very slick. Shakman knows what he's doing. The writers knew what they were doing. They have packaged everything, even painful exposition and origin stuff, in a palatable way that makes it fun to watch.
They shot the origin stuff like the Apollo missions. They shot it.
Yeah, and we see it as like a television show. Yeah. And it's all packaged in this wonderful, like, nostalgia-looking thing that gives you very much like Man on the Moon, let's watch the first rocket into space, etc., etc. So it's very slick. It is entertaining.
But it all feels very rushed. Right. It all feels so rushed, right? I'm not saying I don't need origin stories at this point. I really don't.
I'm glad that they didn't. I mean, they did, but they didn't, right?
Yeah. That's the problem. It's a personal pet peeve. And I was like, I'm a little invested in that. And then they don't. And then they just give you screams, which I'm okay with all that. But at the same time, I'm not. And that's pretty much my feelings on this film. I feel like James Gunn did it better with Superman. We did that.
So I hate when people do, when they're kind of like, oh, Fantastic Four, it's a family, but Superman was better. Completely different movies. But I hate to say it, Superman did it better. It's weird. Superman felt more like the eventized Marvel films that of lore of yore, like up until Endgame, and this one just feels so middling. So, like I said, I loved this. I enjoyed it. Okay. But here's where I'm going to take a big shit all over this.
Oh boy. Also, let me before you go too far, let me also say that the other thing Superman does well is it creates a metropolis that both looks real and both doesn't look real, kind of like this Earth 848. But I like what James Gunn did more. It was more subtle. I'm not saying again. I think one of the best things about this Fantastic Four is the production design, but it's a little hammer on the head compared to Metropolis.
Yeah,
True.
I would say so.
Yeah.
So again, while I had a blast with this because I am a Fantastic Four fan, here's where I'm going to take a huge fucking dump on this,
Okay.
okay?
Here we
First
go.
of all, Kevin Feige says it's a standalone movie. It's not a fucking standalone movie.
Not.
Fuck you, Kevin Feige. Because it is a bridge, just like we've all complained about Marvel movies, it's a bridge to Doomsday.
Yep.
And you need
Yep.
only wait for the goddamn stinger to
Yep.
see
Yep.
it's the bridge to Doomsday.
Yep.
Let alone the fact that it says Fantastic Four will return to it's standalone. It's not a fucking standalone movie. Okay.
Yeah.
And you say all you need to know is it opens and the title card says Earth 828. Fuck the multiverse.
Yeah.
Fuck Earth 828. Okay. Now that was spoiled for me before going into Fantastic Four. When I heard that it takes place on an alternate Earth with an alternate retro city, with an alternate universe where they're the only heroes on Earth, I said, I don't know if I'm going to fucking watch this. And as much fun as I had watching this, it felt like WandaVision, a one off, clever gimmick that was super slick that will be inconsequential with regards to the rest of the MCU timeline. I felt duped when it said Earth 828, and I felt like, why am I even watching this? Why am I even fucking here? Why? Because it's a step to Doomsday. I am not excited to see Doomsday at this point. Sammy, like you said, I think that Feige is desperate to get some of that like Russo magic back. It's why he brought back the Russos. It's why he brought back Downey.
In fairness to him, he's under a lot of pressure to do that. I mean, I don't know if he's really the mastermind or if he's really just being pushed to do that.
Well,
Because
don't make missteps like saying this is a standalone movie when it's
yeah,
not, and
yeah,
don't give us a version of
yeah,
Fantastic Four.
he
Yeah.
probably
Now,
shouldn't talk to the media at this point when it comes to
no.
that because I feel like over the last 5 to 10 years, he's almost everything he said has been held against him because it's almost like he's head of production on these things, but either he's just bold-faced lying or he doesn't even know what's going on.
Yeah.
Well, historically, that article had come out in the trades that essentially what Feige was doing was they were essentially setting sail on projects with an idea, but there was no script that was finished. They would finish it while they were filming.
Yeah.
And then Feige admitted, yeah, not our best moment with Secret Invasion because we really didn't know what we were doing. We were making up as we were going along. Again, as much as I had such a blast with this movie and I loved seeing my Fantastic Four family on the screen, it feels inconsequential and a one shot
Hmm.
and a step to Doomsday. And for that, I just have to really shit on this because Earth 828, stop the multiverse. I'm so sick of the
It's
multiverse.
it's
It doesn't work in cinema. It works in comic books. It does not work in cinema.
I got
Well,
to
they
be
spoiled it in Thunderbolts. Remember the Thunderbolt stinger literally like kind of spoiled this movie viewing for me because I kept waiting to
Yeah.
see how the multiverses were going to come together because
Yeah.
that was the whole, oh, we can see this multiverse coming and what is that? Oh, there's a Fantastic
Well,
Four.
we'll get to it. We'll get to it in spoilers,
I
but
knew the multiverse was going nowhere when they cast Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom. I knew it was going nowhere.
yeah.
I knew that if they're all in on that, no matter what anybody says, they are
Mhm.
all in on it because they feel like creatively they can't do anything different except interconnect these stories. And some fans really love that. Some fans really don't. I'm tired of it. And I'll say this as a comic book reader, I don't even like multiverse comic book stuff. I've said this before on other podcasts, including this one. I do not like it when they mix the things together. I'm okay if Superman books are Superman books. I'm okay if Batman books are Batman books. I'm okay if they mix them up every now and then, but keep them on a short, dry run. You don't have to keep coming back and tell me this is Earth AB2. This is Earth C3F. This is an Elseworld. This is this. This is that. I don't care. I don't care what world you're creating. You don't have to explain that to me. Just say this is Fantastic Four set in a different timeline, and it has nothing to do with the rest of the Marvel Universe. But we all knew that it was going to be tied to it somehow, some way. You can totally see it. We'll talk about it in spoilers. You can totally see, especially with the stinger here, in case you couldn't see it, the whole genesis of the whole Rubicon type cube. What was the name? The Tesseract. You can see the
Yes.
Tesseract here. You can see the MacGuffin of the whole next setup here.
Sure.
And, if you didn't see it, the stinger lets you know, oh, yeah, by the way, you may not saw this, but here's what we're going to be doing.
Sure. And
Yeah.
one last thing, and then we'll move on to spoilers. This retro 60s universe that it takes place in, you're right. It's not only milquetoast, but it's too saccharine. There's no conflict. There's no racism.
Nope.
I love that there's diversity, but like no one struggles.
There's very little diversity, though.
And
well,
they're there,
Very
but the
little.
problem is it feels too saccharine, and it's almost like they're showing us a utopia world, and
It's
their
safe.
only
Yep.
literal conflict is the conflict in the movie itself. But they're so happy-go-lucky that they're just like, okay, we trust you, Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
and
I don't
I
want
was
to go.
like, that's
I don't want to go down this wormhole because it's an ugly wormhole.
it's an ugly wormhole.
It is interesting that 4 white people have made a utopia. That's all I'm going to say.
So, at any rate, I hate to say this, but I'm probably gonna give it
You could go
a
either way.
skip.
Oh, okay.
I'm probably
Okay.
gonna say it's a skip.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I could say I'm a light watch, but I could eat.
But you're a fan. See, that's the difference. You're a fan. Me and Sam, we're not fans. So we're like, this is okay. I'm sure the fans will like it. And then here you are as a fan being like, no, this wasn't for me.
And you know what? And here's the problem. Like I said, I enjoyed watching this, but I got duped by Feige and the Marvel machine, and I guess I'm a little angry about that. But it's also a version of the Fantastic Four that I don't know.
You don't have any interest.
Anyway,
It's the version we're going to get. So it is what it is.
You literally walked out of the movie like a comic book villain said, if you had a mustache
Exactly.
and twirling it, you'd been like, ah.
all right. So if you have not seen Fantastic Four First Steps, we're gonna spoil it faster than you can say flame on. Okay, so spoilers. The big thing about this film is that first of all, it opens with Sue sitting on the toilet taking a pregnancy test. We all know it's a fucking pregnancy test, and
Yeah.
she's pregnant with their baby, which
It would have been a really bold move if she was taking a massive shit.
I know it would have been great.
That would have been a full point for the whole film for me. If he's looking for iodine and she's taking a massive shit, I'm like,
And
that
she's like, hold on,
that is
I'll be out there.
that is marriage.
That is marriage, exactly. So the whole deal is she's pregnant, okay, and then we get all this like conflict with the Silver Surfer who heralds the coming of Galactus, who destroys worlds. It turns out Galactus wants the baby because there's something special about the baby.
Power cosmic, man. The power cosmic. He will inherit. He will inherit. We're in full spoiler territory. So what Galactus sees, Galactus's character, for those who don't know, is a character who is never satiated. So he's always hungry. He's a destroyer of worlds because he has to consume in order to survive. We all do, but he has to consume in massive amounts.
Right.
World eating, which is a great idea. A lot of stoners in the 70s loved it. I love it. I love the idea of this natural destroyer of worlds that has to come along because at some point maybe each planet reaches a utopian state, which we have here, and maybe they've reached a point to where there's no returning from that utopian state, and they must be destroyed in order to regain some type of sense of morals or regeneration of character or however you want to look at it. But what he sees is this Franklin Richards, this baby, has the ability to become the next Galactus, and he can pass away, which is what he wants. But evidently, they never really touch on this. He can't pass away for whatever reason. He has to have this character in order to usurp usurp the throne or whatever it is to take over the throne.
Yeah.
Of,
Basically, just swap him out, essentially.
yeah.
Because he's tired.
It's an escape for him, right?
Yeah.
Like he's never satisfied.
Yeah. And so the first half of the film, we get this whole like family mijigas about like, oh, is Franklin going to have superpowers, or is he going to be something dark? Is he safe or whatever? And then it turns out that, Galactus is like, oh, that's my way out. And so give up the baby or I eat your world. And what ends up happening is that they come back from all of this because they're trying to turn Galactus away. And at an impromptu sort of like press conference, Reed, who is all science and no emotion, lets slip, well, this thing's going to destroy the world and they kind of want our baby and we're not going to give over the baby. And it's like, what? And so everybody goes apeshit because they're like, wait, hold on. Baby, whole world, give up baby.
Yeah.
And then it all gets resolved by Sue coming out with the baby, and she's like, I'm not giving up my baby. And then she does some wordsmithing like, what was it? I'm not going to save my child for the world, but I'm going to save the world for my child. What the fuck? I don't know.
Yeah. It's like this weird type of, I don't know, palindrome type thing or something. I don't know what's going on. I'm probably the wrong word. Palindrome, something else. Anyway.
But everybody's all like, okay, we're on board. Protect us, Fantastic Four.
Yeah, that's the problem I have. I think there's really good dramatic elements to the idea that a society, because I honestly believe this, even in our societies now, that if somebody came and this kind of craziness happened and somebody said, if we gave up that child, the whole world would be okay. So you give up one to save billions. I'd say, as much as we hate to admit this, the majority of the world would say, give up the child.
Ship that fucking baby to space.
That's right.
Even what people would say.
Even people who have children would, because they're thinking of their children and they want their children to survive. It's like, that's not my child. I have no skin in that game. As awful as all that sounds, I think there's really good dramatic elements there. There's also the old school, and you even get it in this film. There's the old school Frankenstein mob, right? The lynching mob that's coming to the Fantastic Four is so used to being loved, and now they're hated.
But not enough of that. Not enough of that. And you're right. Superman did that much better and in a more politically sort of like relevant manner.
It was subtle though. Even though they're slamming you over the head, they used media, social media, and things like that to kind of nail it. This movie it's clumsy. It comes and it goes. I mean, it's like 15 minutes of the movie. It's just like, hey, if we did this, oh, we hate you. Oh, yeah, but I'm going to do this. Oh, we love you. And then
we love you. Let's get to solving the problem. And there's like no conflict. Literally, the only conflict we see is, there's some people like, no. And they storm they protest or whatever. And then there's like this shot of like a tribe that's worshiping Galactus. By the way, if you stick around, there is a song from that tribe that is played over the end credits. And it's like, come destroy us or whatever the song is. It's very weird.
It's weird.
Yeah, something about devouring. I remember the word.
Come devour us. We want peace, but we'd rather be devoured. I was like, what are we fuking listening to?
Well, anyway. When you think about it, again, that's where the Christ parable kind of comes in with Galactus and the idea, right? The idea of they're
totally.
But we're here for a reason. We're going to come along and destroy it, So
that resolution is so weird, but I also think that that's a potent idea. It's the same reason why I think the screenplay for The Omen works so well, is because The Omen gets the audience to be like, kill that motherfucking kid, right? It's going to be, and that's a taboo. You don't want to kill kids. You don't want to sacrifice children, but then this film treats it in such a saccharine kind of way.
As a father of children, and I know Mike's going to identify with this, let me get into this little tidbit too. I always it drives me crazy. Newborn babies don't hold their heads up within 2 days. And
oh my God, that child, I was like, okay, it's maturing really quickly.
At first I thought, okay, what they're going to do here is they're going to make this kid grow up fast. I thought that's the route they were going to go. Then it's to the end of the film and they're like 4 years later. And I'm like, oh, okay, now he's a 4-year-old,
Right.
So, and you see that. So I was like, well, a little bit of a pet peeve, a little bit of a weird thing, but still.
But immediately she gives birth to it in space, and it's already set for a baby seat.
I
What?
can,
I know, so weird.
I can say this. I can already see fans of the Marvel films and fans of this film in particular saying, well, you just kind of got to buy it.
You just gotta buy it.
At this point, we're 25 to 30 years into this world. You don't have to buy anything anymore if you don't want to.
No.
You can,
Exactly.
when your media and when your press kits is pushing synchronicity amongst projects, and you're asynchronous,
Asynchronous.
asynchronous. There we go. That's a word I wasn't expecting to use today. Between that and swiping right. And by the way, if you don't like the way I say asynchronous or whatever, swipe left. But when you get out there and you say these things, whether you like it or not, the world we live in right now is very fickle, and people get offended when you say things that, like Feige said, this is a standalone, and then you go see the film and you're like, this is not a standalone. This is an origin story for your next 15 movies. That's what you're trying to shove down my throat, and you're not telling me that as if it's kind of a cool M. Night Shyamalan type thing. But at this point, it's not cool. Maybe it's because I'm a former big-time comic book guy and a guy that did love the Marvel films at first, but felt like they lost their way about midway through. There's only a few that I do not like at all. Really, the one I like the least is the Multiverse of Madness. That's the one that really just really grinds my gears.
I hated Quantumania. Fuck that movie.
I didn't mind that one as much. I think I was on the show with you guys for that one, but
Rick and Morty the movie is what we called it.
Yeah. I think I liked it because I liked the Kang element.
I liked it too.
Yeah.
Multiverse.
Yeah, I mean, this was but when he was in that other multiverse where he wasn't hitting women. But this is the that's a bad joke, I know. But
Oh,
Jonathan Majors has a couple multiverses as well, and some good lawyers. But let me just say that I mean, such good lawyers that they're actually thinking about bringing Kang back. Have you read this?
I've read this. Just kill the multiverse, folks. Like
Just kill it.
Yeah,
I know everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, Cupcake's so sour because it's a multiverse storyline." No, it's not. It's a version of the Fantastic Four, and I want the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, here's the thing. You had a pretty fun multiverse. You ended it with Endgame. Let it go. Start another story thread. Don't worry about any of that stuff that happened in the past. Let it go.
Well, I think that's what they're trying to do with Doomsday, but it's interesting that they do it via Earth 828's Fantastic Four.
I don't think they're doing that. I think even Thunderbolts, as much as I like Thunderbolts more than this, I still think they're too beholden to what happened in the past.
I'm sorry, the new Avengers is actually what we should be.
I know, so dumb.
And again, there's going to be people out there that are going to defend it, and I totally understand that. We definitely have friends that loved it. I think if you're doing a podcast where you're criticizing movies, you have to criticize the product. You can't just come in. You can still like something and badmouth it. You can still love something. Yeah. You got to talk about the weaknesses. And if anybody tells me that this film feels tight or toit, as the kids say, if anybody tells me that this film feels well put together and tight and everything else, I call bullshit.
Yeah. It's slick.
It's slick.
Is what it is.
Yeah, and it covers its holes with that slickness. It really does.
It's under 2 hours, so it tricks us into thinking that this is we're tricked into thinking it's fast paced because it's under 2 hours, but it really isn't fast paced, right? It kind of gets mired in its own bullshit. And again, the family dynamic, which we want, but doesn't feel like it's really a dynamic. We never feel any fear. Anybody who knows Franklin Richards, the character, knows that he's like the most powerful, even more powerful than the Phoenix. I mean, we're talking huge power here, more than Jean Grey. So they're bringing in a character who is like more powerful than Superman, in fact. So
yeah, they're doing this all over the place too, with the Galactus and the Sentry, and they're doing this all over the place, and they're going to paint themselves into a corner. When you put that much power on screen, sooner or later, the only thing, and I can tell you right now, the only thing that counters that kind of power is, you can see it coming. It's humanity, love, and humanity, and all these things.
So So what's been interesting though is that, you know, I'm not I'm not a big comic book person like you guys are, but we know from the MCU, the cinematic universe, that Captain Marvel and now in this film, Sue Storm and Doctor Strange are the most powerful beings, right?
So yeah, so if my son was asking, he don't really know anything about the Fantastic Four, so he kept saying, "Well, who's your favorite character on the way to the movies?" He's like, one I don't understand why anybody likes is Sue Storm, and I was like, I didn't want to say anything because I knew that at some point that was probably going to come up in the film, that her power seems so, it seems so kind of stupid when you think about
It
it.
feels like a B movie. Oh, you can
Yes.
be invisible, but
Yeah.
it's more than that.
Yeah.
She's one of the
Sue.
more powerful heroes.
What you can see that she can do with this ability is pretty profound, right? I mean, it's like it's upper level stuff, and this is part of the problem I have. I know, Jose, we all know you love Captain Marvel. It's going to be the same problem I'm going to have with the Sentry, and it is the biggest problem I have with Thunderbolts was the Sentry character. And it's kind of the problems I have with Superman as well. Is that once your character becomes the Almighty, which again is the God parable, the Jesus Christ parable, all that stuff, you really don't have anywhere to go. And here, for a red hot moment, and you guys know what I'm talking about. For a red hot moment, I thought Marvel is going to do the one thing they've never done.
Kill a character.
Kill a character.
They're going to kill the character. You have just like this ever 5 to 10 second moment where you're like, holy shit, they're actually going to do it.
Well,
and
so
then
listen,
the baby
we're in
starts crying, and
spoilers.
you're like, yeah, the baby
We're in
starts.
spoilers. She
Yeah.
she uses her incredible power to fucking knock out Galactus. Okay,
And the Silver
and then she falls over and pretty much dies. Although, where was the nose? Jessica Alba got a nosebleed from a goddamn helicopter in part 2, and there's no bleed from Sue in this. She just falls dead, all like pretty like her.
Well, she finally took the shit she wasn't taking at the beginning.
But then of course Franklin lays on her and brings her back to life, which
is sweet, right? I mean,
it is sweet, right?
As a father, you know, it got me in the feels a little bit.
I thought they were going to kill her, though. I thought, why not? It's Earth 828.
I mean,
Fantastic Four, kill her.
Part of me's like, put the baby on her, and then like, you know, Reed doesn't understand that he can't figure out the baby because it's a double-edged sword for him because he's a dad for the first time, and of course he's scared because we all are as dads for the first time. Actually, I'm going to say this now. I hear people say that all the time. I'm scared as a dad every fucking time. I don't know who just scared on the first child because the second child, the third child, Mike, you know this more than I do.
Yeah.
They all fucking frighten me because I'm worried about it all the time. But either way, I thought let's go full tilt here. I had a moment where I'm sitting in the theater right there and I'm smiling by myself, thinking, put the baby on her and just have the baby rip her head off, and Reed and everybody be like, and
what
then
the fuck?
Movie's over. I would have been like, movie ever. But no, you kind of saw it coming, but there for a moment I thought, you know, Marvel's going to try something here, which is, you know, they kind of did that with Endgame, right? With the Robert Downey Jr. character, they kind of did it.
And Gamora.
Yeah, and nobody expects them to do it at this point, but they could have done something there a little different. But at the same time, I can't complain about it because I understand the power cosmic is what Doomsday is going to be all about.
Yeah.
The Stinger. Again, if you didn't know that, the Stinger is going to let you know that.
Yeah. So the Stinger is I don't know. She goes to get breast milk or whatever the fuck she does, and she comes back
to get his favorite book.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
That's what it was.
She comes back, and Doom is basically holding, you know, conversation with Franklin.
Well, he's there, and Franklin's touching his face, which Doom's face is disfigured, and he's holding a piece.
And he's holding the mask.
Yeah.
Right.
So in case you didn't know it was Dr. Doom with the green cape, which everybody would know, they make sure to have the mask off too. And actually, when that scene cut, that was the most reaction that my theater got. Was when that scene cut, the people cheered and everything. So again, Marvel's something because they know that Doom is the thing they're going to need, and they know Robert Downey Jr. is the thing they're going to need. They know this. We know this.
They also kind of tee it up here because, you know, listen, again, I'm not a comic book fan, but I know Dr. Doom is from Latveria. And when they're doing all the UN scenes, the one country that is absent
that wasn't there.
Latveria. Yeah. Every time they showed Latveria, I did the like the Leonardo DiCaprio meme of pointing at the screen.
Yeah, and Doctor Doom's a great character because the great thing about Doctor Doom is he's just really this kind of selfish, greedy character who wants power, but he's very human as well. And if they do this right, and they got the right actor, I got to say, if they do this right, they really could hit bingo again. They really could.
Yeah.
But I have concerns. I knew if they nailed Thanos that they or Thanos, however you want to say it. I say Thanos, but
Thanos.
Thanos, yeah. I knew if they nailed that. At first, when I saw him, I thought, oh, it's CGI Josh Brolin. I'm not really into it. But they did a really good job. It's actually one of the better CGI actor performances that I can think of, right?
Oh, yeah.
And Brolin
And
really
Captain Marvel beat his ass.
Yeah. Well, and then Thor beheaded him, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it was, they nailed that. So Galactus, they kind of nail it a little bit too, although obviously this isn't the last time we'll see Galactus. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
We'll see Galactus again. But
I don't know that they utilized him as well as they could have. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, I don't think they did, but I think that goes back to what we talked about. I think that
it's a bridge. Yeah, this is a bridge. We're gonna get more of them.
It's a bridge, and it's all jumbled up. And they're like, hey, this movie's going along. Oh, we haven't talked about Galactus. Cut. Let's put Galactus in there. Okay, now we need to do. Maybe we should go to space and see Galactus, and maybe we should do this. Which all that stuff works. I mean, I love the outer space stuff, and when they first see Galactus, that's great with the eyes light up and everything else. It's amazing because it gives you scale and all that stuff.
Actually, can we talk about what was her name? Shaba.
Yeah.
M. Night Shyamalan.
Shaba Ranks.
Yeah.
The Silver Surfer.
He's directing Silent 2 next week.
I thought that the Silver Surfer was kind of badass in this movie. I actually liked that character. I didn't buy that she suddenly was like, oh, I'll save this Earth.
No. Although they did kind of set that up, in fairness to them, with she kind of failed Galactus at one point.
Yeah.
They set her up, again, it's another one of those things. They set her up as this all-powerful character, and I'm sitting there thinking, well, I don't know what the Fantastic Four can even do. She can go through things, she can fly through things, she can go inside of things and almost take babies out of wombs. She can do everything. And I'm like, I don't know.
She hasn't had sex yet, though. That's why they sent Johnny to
well, no, she has.
Make
she
her
has
all
a baby.
flustered.
She has a baby. Don't you remember?
No, I know.
But here's the thing. What kills all-knowing power? What did I just say a while ago? Well, yeah, that does as well.
Yeah,
but
humanity and love. Yeah.
Humanity and love. And I'm telling you, that's where this whole thing is going. Spoiler alert. That's where this whole thing is going. By the time we get to Doomsday, it's going to be Robert Downey Jr. in a great acting scene going, I thought I knew what true power was. Little did I know it was humanity all along. Right.
But and I think so. Back to Silver Surfer and then back to Johnny Storm. I think this iteration, the horny single Johnny Storm or whatever.
Johnny Storm's always horny. I mean, this character is the horniest character in Marvel history. I mean, he needs to get laid so bad.
I know. I love how he's like, it's a sexy alien, and he's like firing or whatever. I did kind of like this Johnny. I did like him.
I liked him. I just didn't like what Quinn did all the time. I like the character.
Still a little lacking.
I like
those tight pants. My God.
He liked and the white pants. He really liked
tight white pants.
Yeah, white jeans. Really going for that retro look. That was a total 70s thing.
Yeah, it was.
White jeans. Me and Jose, you probably wore white jeans at some point. That was a
Cavaricci's, bitch.
I don't know how Mike.
That's what I'm talking about.
And me and Jose are close in age, so yeah, fuck. I remember the white jeans, man. You go to school, and if you spilled like mustard or ketchup, like you were fucked.
You were done.
You're done.
Fucking done. It's never coming out.
No, back in those days, they didn't make the soaps that eliminate every virus on the planet and cause other viruses.
Exactly. Can we talk about The Thing? I liked The Thing.
I like the beard.
I love the beard. Yes.
Crazy. I love that. First of all, he's shaving, and I was like,
he's grinding.
Yeah, I know. But the beard was pretty cool. But I had problems with the emotions through the CGI, and I did not like how they did his walk. It just didn't look natural. I didn't like the CGI-ness of this thing.
Yeah. I was kind of surprised that they made him so I I didn't have as many issues as you did with that. I think I kind of bought into that, and I kind of got some emotion through his face. Weirdly,
But
I
it's
don't know
weird
why.
that it's weird that other than
The blue eyes, they really accentuated the blue eyes, which is a
yeah,
thing,
yeah,
the thing.
yeah.
But
But it's weird. The other films traded on his angst in terms of being
Always.
yeah,
The
but
character always
here,
has angst. We don't
but
get any.
here he's absolutely accepted. Kids cheer him on.
he's accepted. But
Natasha Lyonne is wet for him.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
none of that. None of
Yeah, we don't. It's a huge keystone of the character that they totally just kind of.
haha Stone.
Yeah.
Could you say Whetstone? Wet Tasha? Wet Tasha? Wet Tasha Leon Stone?
But it was
Oh,
weird that they almost
I think there's
they exceeded.
I don't think it's angst though.
Very little.
I think it's self-doubt. I think there's
Yeah.
it's not
So
angst.
there is some of that, and that of the whole like this town looks different. I feel like an outsider, but that's literally it. That's
That's
literally it.
Yeah, but also in saying that, that's one of the weird moments in the movie because he's like, this town looks different. I feel weird here because he feels weird. But then he also tells Natasha Lyonne, "Yeah, I love this old neighborhood. It makes me, I grew up right there." I'm saying,
Yeah.
didn't you? What?
Yeah, didn't you just say you
Which
feel
one?
like an outsider?
Which one is it there, Ben? But what I didn't
Yeah.
like about this version of the thing, and that I thought would be in this, I like when, like, what I like about the Hulk is huge. I like that he's disproportionate to the other characters.
Yes.
This thing is disproportionate, but ever so subtly. He's more broad than he is anything. He's really kind of a normal size, and he's just kind of he's kind of like my English bulldog. He's just really stout.
Yeah, it's weird. In some
Yeah,
scenes,
it's
he
weird.
looks bigger though, especially when
Yeah.
he's ready to
Wait,
throw
pull-
the car at the kids.
Yeah, and where he pulls that boat out of the water. That's a pretty cool moment, right?
Yeah, that
Oh,
was
and
pretty awesome.
can we talk about when he holds the baby and it looks like the baby's moving all over? That was like the worst bit of CGI throughout the whole fucking movie. My kids were like, "Is the baby AI? Is that a baby AI?" Because it literally was like moving around on his lap while he's holding it, and the head's like moving all weird. It was fucking weird. I don't know what the
This
hell.
is where my old fuddy-duddiness looks over to young kids and says, the whole fucking Hollywood entertainment complex is AI at this point.
Yes, exactly.
Well, it's probably my love for that character that makes me overlook some of the flaws that they put here. But I also did like that this version of the thing is not angry. I like that he's quiet.
Yeah,
He's kind of soft. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that they went that route. That was not something I was expecting. I was expecting him to be different, and they even make it a joke, which I don't think really works. But they make it a joke with the "Say it, Ben. Say it. I don't want to say it."
Yeah, I laughed the first time, and then when he finally says it, I was like,
it's like me. Yeah,
And it's not really a clobbering moment. It's more like a ingrown hair on Galactus's ass. That really,
pretty much.
and that's the problem again with having a character like the Galactus, and then you have to have a Sue Storm or a Captain Marvel or a Sentry because these all powerful characters, Ben, who can move boats and pick up cars and everything else, he can't do anything to Galactus. The guy's fucking 120 feet tall. He's huge. Although I did really dig. I don't know if I ever remember this in the comics. I dig that when Reed was like opening the portals and all the lava was falling out of like the planets he had eaten and stuff, and like it was hurting Galactus. I was like,
that was cool.
Yeah.
"Ooh, go back to that. Go back to that. He's like bleeding. That's really cool. That's a good idea."
Actually,
was.
let's talk about the Reed Richard character here. I think they took a really interesting tact with him, which was he was essentially all science, right?
Mhm.
And she criticizes him for that. She's like, I know you thought the probability of giving our kid to Galactus saves the world, right? And she goes, because that's who you are. You're all science. And so I love that iteration of Reed, that he's very like scientific.
Mhm.
And they even made a sort of commentary about how that kind of thinking doesn't allow emotions, doesn't allow religion, doesn't allow those sort of like
It can't,
softer
right?
concepts.
Because the
Right.
minute, in science, the minute you bring personal beliefs into science, you start to skew the science.
Right. And
Yeah.
I love that. I thought that was kind of a brave commentary
was-
given
It was
current.
good, but I still feel like they should have stuck with it a bit more. It feels like Reed he's such a waffler in this film. Like
He is, because he
designed the
struggles.
machine, and then he's like, "I'm not going to use this on you anymore." he does this, and he's like, I'm not going to do that anymore.
Well, I think his whole arc is, I'm the smartest man in the world and I know exactly what to do, and now I don't know what to do, not only with Galactus but with a baby.
Again,
and so that's his whole arc, right? But that's
humanity and love. Yeah, it's all that stuff.
That's damn better than Ian Griffith fucking breakdancing in the Tim Story one. God damn it.
That was so fun. That was fun.
Who was Mr. Fantastic in the Trank one?
Miles Teller.
Miles Teller. Sexy Miles Teller.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
If you watch this is funny, but if you literally watch that Fantastic Four and the Power Rangers remake, they're like the exact same fucking movie. Exact same. Watch them back to back. They're both moody tweens that are wondering how to deal with their power. They're the same fucking movie. Watch them back to back.
I hate you, Mike, because now I'm going to have to do that.
Oh, God.
And you're right.
Look, I think part of the problem I have with this movie is they really don't know what to do with Reed Richards. I think, again, Pascal he's great. He's very magnetic. He's charismatic. He starts out really solid in this film as kind of this guy that's always thinking and writing on chalkboards. A lot of writing on chalkboards in this movie. If that's a fetish.
There is a lot of that shit.
A lot of that.
A lot of chalkboard writing. And of course I knew, even seeing the chalkboards and how big they were, I was like, sooner or later they're going to use the stretch mechanism for the chalkboard, and they did.
Of course.
Yeah.
By the way, did we like the stretch effects? I thought they were actually not bad.
Well, they didn't overdo them. They didn't overdo,
and that was a good thing, right? I think
the best thing with the stretch thing though was, I don't know if you guys agree with this, but I love the Galactus playing Stretch Armstrong with him.
Oh my God, that was too much. Anyone who's overstretched a rubber band knows you're in for hurt there.
I'm sitting there thinking he's going to snap. I mean, he takes him to the limit, man. It's pretty cool.
I think he could have painfully been stretched out a little longer, because, like I said, if you hit that limit,
but yes.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, swipe right on the stretching. All right,
FF stretch.
Oh yeah, open the portal, baby. Oh Lord. But by the end, he does get a nice heroic moment, and my son kind of said that too. And the battle isn't bad at the end. I kind of like it. It has all the tropes, right? It has the self-sacrifice moment. I liked the fact that Galactus is like, I do love the scene where he says, "silly bugs." I do like that. I love
that was fun.
That was a great moment. I love how he says "silly bugs."
Right.
That's the one thing from this movie that like I'm going to carry forever. Because I'll just be honest with you guys. I'll never watch this. I'll probably never watch this again. Maybe with a commentary track. Jose knows my love of commentary tracks. Maybe I would
too. I might do that.
But outside of that, I've seen this. I feel like I've seen this before, like 10 times at this point. And I understand there's spectacle there and all that kind of stuff, but it's really not that spectacular. I mean, at this point, the problem with spectacle is you really got to have something special. Again, it's the same problem I have with Superman, which I think is a better film, but it's the same problem, though. I mean, at some point when you're just tossing around CGI characters, it just, you lose me. It just becomes empty, and I just don't care anymore.
A couple more things. The whole Mole Man thing, sorry.
You think
it's wasted?
Yeah.
That could have easily been taken in.
Yeah.
He's wasted.
But it's all there just for a plot point, right? It's all there just to set up a battle.
It was dumb.
A lot of this is all there to set up a battle. Like, why do we have to have female Fantastic Four?
Exactly.
But so much of it is just for no reason. Like, female Fantastic Four to make him horny. Why do we have Mole Man to create the subterranean port? But he's not really Mole Man. God, there's so many problems. Everything looks like the perfect versions of what they are, but they don't act or feel like the real versions.
Yeah, and that's what all very surface. Hate it.
Like you said, it is not your, we hate to say that, but it's not my Fantastic Four, because it doesn't feel like the Fantastic Four that we thought we were going to get with the MCU. It is the Fantastic Four from 828, which they're somehow going to shoehorn, and we're going to get like the Captain America thing where they land in the MCU Earth and they have to deal with how everything's different. We already know it's going to be silly and dumb.
Yeah, it's going to be wacky comedy, right? You mean
no.
Oh, by the way,
you have flat screen televisions? Ooh.
Oh God, it's gonna be.
By the way, Can I just say this? As smart as Reed Richards is, his solution is to teleport the entire fucking planet somewhere else.
Everyone's like, no, let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. We've never done it before. Let's blink ourselves to another fucking location in the universe.
It's obviously very bold. It's really incredibly bold when you think about the fact that he's only moved an egg 6 feet.
Right, and suddenly he's gonna do a whole fucking planet. To say
what
nothing
about the
of
sun?
Fact that, to say
the sun too.
To say nothing of the fact that like everybody knows science. If the Earth moves like 1 degree out of whatever, it burns up. Another degree this way, it goes cold.
Does everybody know science?
And he's going to zip it to another fucking place in the universe? Like, this is your solution?
I don't think. Yeah, I think. I'm. You know, when I saw the egg moving thing, first thing I thought was fly.
Yeah.
The second thing I thought was this is going to come back. I don't know how it's going to come back, but this is going to come back.
Well, so I thought that maybe what we were going to get was, you know, the tag from whatever the other fucking movie was with the Fantastic Four rocket heading towards Earth. I thought that the planet was going to move, and then they were being like, we got to talk to the people next door.
Here's the thing, and I'm going to say this out loud, and you guys are going to be like, oh, yeah, why didn't I think of that? And because this is immediately what I thought. Why go straight to transport Earth? Why not go straight to transport Galactus?
Exactly.
Hello, motherfuckers.
Well, yeah. I'm sitting there thinking, we went from let's move 8 billion people to let's move one giant person. Right. Why wouldn't we go from let's move one giant person as opposed to
I don't know,
8 billion people in peril?
Or I don't know, why not have shoot Sue Storm into his mouth and make him invisible? Like, what the fuck?
You could make the argument that he's trying to put himself back in favor with all the people by saying, I'm going to move you away from the danger. Yeah. But you could also make the argument that he could come out and do a 2-minute speech holding his baby like his wife did and say, we're going to move Galactus. And people will be like, all right, beer and wings.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Yeah. You know, so I don't know. I just thought that was kind of odd. I was like, okay, so you had to put 8 billion people in peril to figure out that you just need to move one giant CGI creation?
You know what would have been great?
Maybe you ain't the smartest person in the room, brother.
So I think what would have been great was when she's giving that speech, our friend Randy raises his hand at the back and he's like, couldn't we just move Galactus?
Yeah, it's totally perfect. It's a Randy moment. It's totally a Randy.
It's a total Randy moment.
It is.
Any other thoughts about this? I don't think we're going to have pluses again. I think, Sammy, when you come on, it's a plusless show.
Yeah, well, I mean, I am the plus. Let's put it that way.
You are the plus.
There we go. It's okay to not have pluses. I do enjoy your guys' pluses, but I understand. I don't have any more thoughts. I mean, again, we got a lot out of this conversation. I always worry about reviewing blockbusters because for me, blockbusters have to usually set for a while. I'm not real good at, and I never really have been, I'm not real good at reviewing films fresh. The reason being is I'm always very hypercritical on a fresh watch.
Yeah.
I have a lot of problems with things and everything else. Usually for me, a film, and I know this goes against the whole business model completely. Okay, I get it. But for me, film tends to have more impact the longer it's like wine, or it's like good alcohol or good cheese or whatever. It's in the age, right?
Yeah.
And you know, sometimes I feel what they're trying to go for too much in the first viewing, but when I go back, I might see subtleties I missed. But I am always nervous reviewing these films because there's a lot to say, but it's easy to kind of poke at it and stuff like that. And I don't want people to think that that's what I'm doing here. I do think it's worth a watch. I do think it's okay. There was a lot of talking in my theater, actually. Mostly amongst the young folks. The older folks were really kind of bought in, whereas the younger, and of course, you know, being older, you're just more mature and you just kind of let the film flow over you. Whereas the kids, you know, I was the same way the whole time. Side
note, hold that thought. Side note, somebody brought like, I think a 4 or 5-year-old to our screening.
There's always somebody.
There's always somebody, but at some point in the movie, and I think this goes to your point that like the younger ones really do kind of love this film, and it's us adults that are like, this is shit. But at some point somebody says something where they're like, give us the kid or I'll destroy your world or whatever. And the little 5-year-old goes, no,
Yeah.
like even he understood what the fuck was going on, right?
Yeah.
And so it
but
was
he's
interesting.
not jaded, right? I mean,
Yeah.
He's not.
there's part of me that's sitting there thinking, would I do that?
Serve it up. Serve up
Serve it
that
up.
baby.
That's my least favorite child. No, that's the bad one. Yeah, you can have this one. Here you go, man.
Can you take the 4-year-old?
Can you take the 4-year-old they brought to the scene? In fairness, I think the movie's okay. Like on our scale, it's like a 6 out of 10. Like it's watchable.
Yeah.
The actors are pretty good. It looks nice. I did want more thing. I wanted more thing in Natasha Lyonne. Even I wanted more of that.
Mhm.
It's muddled. It's a mess, but it does tell its story. I smiled a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. The stinger did put a smile on my face, but I'm a huge Doctor Doom mark. Not gonna lie, huge one. As a matter of fact, it's very funny. My two favorite Marvel villains are Thanos and Doctor Doom, and it's so great that those are the two that they've went with. Galactus being like my third favorite. It's so
Yeah.
great that they've immediately went to there's some other great villains in the Marvel universe that I'm not going to say out loud because I don't want to give up my cred. I want to be able to come back and say, "See, I told you." It's this person, and I never said it. So that way I look like a genius. But really, the top three heavies in the Marvel universe are really those three guys. And
Yeah.
the fanboy in me, I mean, I chubbed up a little bit. I was chubby.
Yeah.
I got a little chubby on the green leather hood and the
Swipe
metallic
right.
arm. Oh man, I was like, oh. What I really, I'm not a filmmaker, but I think I've watched enough films where I have a pretty good idea what would have been cool if they could have just ever given me a slight turn of the hood and then cut. I would have been like,
Yeah.
Or like if we'd seen disfigured chin or something,
Something.
something, yeah. So anyway, it is a light watch. I do think Superman and for that matter Thunderbolts are the better two films here.
Yeah.
And it is making me excited for some of the standalone stuff we have coming. I mean, I still am excited about a Clayface thing, and I just want to see what that's all about. It could be a total flop, but I love that I think we need to challenge the medium a little bit. I know some people hate that, but I know for the big ones, you got to spend the money. Our friend Troy always talks about this. You got to invest in the safety. I get that. But you make enough money on some of these, you got to invest in some risk.
Yeah.
Take some swings.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
As much as I enjoyed watching this, unfortunately for me, it is a skip, primarily
Still a
because
skip.
it just, it was sold to me one way, and right off the bat, it immediately became something inconsequential to me. Like, why am I here? Only to learn that it's another piece.
It's interesting.
Mhm.
It's interesting. It hit you immediately. Like it hit me about 30 minutes in. 30 minutes in, I was like, fuck. Here we go.
Hey, all I needed to see was Earth 828, and I was like, God damn it.
If they put, I had this thought during the screening last night. If they put up that Loki timeline graph in this film, I'm walking out.
Yes.
I'm telling you, in the Doomsday, they're going to pull it out there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'd be like, wow.
Wow. Anyway, Mike, your verdict.
Yeah. Hey, Loki, is this a watch?
Yeah, I feel the same as Sam pretty much. I like the film. I think that it's fine. I think who was it? Linus who said the Fantastic Four. I think
That's a good one.
I'll hail the Linus who created that. But yeah, it is the Fantastic Four for sure. It's fine. It's nothing spectacular. It is very empty. It looks pretty. They look like the characters. Everything looks like it should be. It just doesn't feel like it should feel. So. Again, go see it with your kids, especially my kids ate it up. This is definitely a kids movie, so take your kids to it.
Yeah. The adults, I did feel that too. It had a been there, done that vibe. I hate to say that, man. I really do, but
yeah,
that's the way a lot of these have felt for me since Multiverse of Madness, when they really went all in on for me, that's when they really went all in, and I was
It's interesting for me that, I mean, one of the problems with the MCU was that oversaturation, too many TV shows, too many one-offs, too many films, too much linking or whatever. But what's interesting from my vantage point is the movie that I love the most, The Marvels, is the worst attended, and primarily because it connected a television show and
Yeah.
people just didn't want to do the homework,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
I
Well, you
still
should, but
fucking
here's
love
the
that
thing.
movie.
Here's the thing, though, Jose and Mike, and I think you agree with this. Again, I'm going to say it. You shouldn't have to do homework to enjoy a piece
No.
of entertainment.
Yeah.
I understand why people love that connectivity and that cleverness, and it makes you feel kind of warm and fuzzy inside sometimes to kind of go back but you don't need it. You can do it very subtly, and people can pull that out of the story itself. You don't
Mhm.
have
Right.
to hit them over the head. We live in a culture right now where everything is so spoon-fed that it's really hurting commercial art, not just art, but commercial art as well.
Yeah.
You got to keep it simple. There's a reason why they say that. There's actually a joke method, right? The KISS method is keep it simple, stupid.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Entertainment has become this. Well, we'll just tell them. It's become test screening overload, in my opinion,
Yeah.
and it's taken the thinking out of it. And I don't care what anybody says. Blockbusters can be smart as well.
They
Yeah.
can be.
They,
They
you
can
know,
be. I
I've seen
mean,
some really good.
listen, this may just be old men talking, but like, you know,
We do that a
70s
lot.
filmmaking, 70s filmmaking, they didn't always give you all the answers. And I love it when a movie does that, when there's an
Well,
ambiguous ending, when they
ambiguous
don't give
ending,
you everything up
yeah,
front.
ambiguous characters, human characters, right? I mean, they touch on. I think the Reed Richards stuff here is kind of cool because they touch on it a little bit about the
I
humanity
liked it.
of him.
Yeah.
But the problem I've had with the superhero genre from the get go is it's very black hat versus white hat, and there's moments of genius in there. Thanos has moments of white hat mixed in with his black hat.
Hmm.
There's moments of genius in there, but for the most part, there's something to be said about the culture the way it is right now and how people are very profoundly either right wing or left wing, that nobody can see the benefits of each side.
Hmm.
It's really disturbing to me. It's really disturbing to me that nobody is seeing the humanity that's being affected on
Yeah.
both sides.
Yeah.
I got
No,
I got
it's true.
friends that are very right wing, and I love them, and I will love them till the day I die. I don't agree with their politics, but they are a human being. That doesn't change my opinion of that person.
Right.
Somewhere in our culture, we've we view askewed.
Yes. We in fact did. We swiped left and
We
decided
we,
one camp was better than another.
we
Yeah.
multiversed. We multiversed all over it.
Yeah, we sure did. FF'd ourselves.
Yeah, and there is
So
there is theories. There is theories with that, with the Ubermensch, superhero stories, Nazism, where we are now. There are theories.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into it here. Dig into that. It's pretty interesting. Pretty fast.
The algorithm, dig into that.
God damn it.
Don't ever forget this. America is incredibly young. We have seen very little turmoil compared to a lot of the world. So don't freak out when
Yeah.
we're going through some turmoil because
Yeah,
we got
it's true.
more to go. We got more to go, people.
We do. We definitely do.
We do.
All right. Well, I guess
That's it.
I figure we have gotten a lot. So no.
Wait, my plus is swipe right, enjoy holes.
Yes. So actually, speaking of swiping right, what's going on over at the Gentleman's Guide,
Yeah,
Sammy?
definitely swipe right on the GGTMC. Please do that.
Always.
Yeah. We just recently did what did we do? Afterlife, the Koreata film. Man, total blank.
Yeah.
Total different world than this movie.
Oh, yeah.
But multiversely, in a way, if you go and watch it. We like to do thought-provoking stuff, but we also like to do pure smut. We'll be talking about Andy Warhol's Flesh the next episode.
Flesh of Frankenstein?
No, just Flesh.
Just Flesh.
Yeah, Little Joe, and you get to see
Oh.
Little Joe actually. For those who are in the know, Little Joe D'Alessandro, one of the kind of fun cult actors. Well, I guess you can call him an actor. Let's just call him cult-like figures in cinema history. Joe D'Alessandro.
One of
Uh,
the most beautiful men on film ever.
yeah.
Folks.
He. There's something about Joe D'Alessandro that I can't quite place, but he is an Adonis. He is an Adonis.
You
Yeah.
swipe right.
Yeah. No. I did. Even though when he opens his mouth, sometimes you're like, ooh, he's very New York.
Very.
Go watch Flesh for Frankenstein or the Dracula film. Go Blood for Dracula. Go watch those films. He's like, hey, what are you talking about over here?
I know.
And it's like, wait a minute now. This is the Middle Ages in Romania.
Hey, it's alive. It's alive.
Yes.
I tell you.
Hey, you two broads look nice in them pants. Take them off. No, I sound like Joe Pesci. Yeah, go over and check out our show. We love the films, the cult films, and we love all films. But again, like I say, we like to watch the old films because it gives you time to mature with them, and it leads to a lot of great conversation about not only film but about our cultural history, which is what we love. So yeah.
Okay, I dare ask, what was the number of your last episode?
Jesus Christ. First of all, you should know this by heart.
I know, I should, but it's in the 800s, isn't it?
It is. We're
in the
the
eights,
800, but official episodes, as far as film review, would be 735.
Oof. Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, and some podcasts that we've kind of grown with are heading toward. One just hit 1,000. Film Junk, which I know those guys a little bit and everything, and they just hit 1,000. And they've been around a few more years than we have, and they've done some other stuff. If we numbered everything, we'd be 800 and something. I don't even know. Honestly, I'll look. We're definitely in the 800s, I think, somewhere.
Wow. Just wow. Awesome.
It's crazy. How much, and I'll say it, how much of me is out there on the internet for the rest of my and anybody that is related to me's existence or anybody that has been in contact with me. You could make an AI version of Sammy, and I will always be with you.
Yes, you have been immortalized.
Yeah,
I hope I
hope to become an AI assistant at some point, where people are not going, "Hey, Sammy, can you tell me what to swipe right on?" Yeah, sure. Come over here. Let's talk about them Utes. No,
Sammy, why did the Fantastic Four first steps fail? Here's why.
My AI would be lazy and be like, "Go to this episode of Watch Skip Plus, you fuck."
Yes, I would see. I would love that response. I'd be like, "Oh, saucy today." So if you love the Gentleman's, if you love us, you will certainly love the Gentleman's Guide to Midnite Cinema and Not a Bomb podcast. Those are our pod fathers, as well as the OGs, the Night of Living podcast. You'll also love Wild Dream podcast, Death by DVD, Raiders of the podcast. We had Tyler on for I Know What You Did Last Summer. That was great. Hope to have him back, as well as Kevin, maybe some of the other guys, Craig, etc. Backlook Cinema podcast with Zoe, and now for something a little bit different, our YouTube brother John Horgan, Caliber 9 from Outer Space. Please tell those gentlemen we say hello. Sammy, I know you're going to be today recording with them. Feminine Critique, and then Talk Without Rhythm with Goro. Mike, parting thoughts, although you've already said it.
But I just want to say a couple things before we part. My episode with the Caliber 9 guys actually doesn't drop until the 1st of August. So by the time you're listening to this, you love that term. It's going to have dropped. So that's us. We talked about it before, but we covered some pretty crappy movies that were kind of fun. We covered the Convent and Space Truckers. So
okay. You guys were on that one. Okay. I always wonder at this point whom Rob and Joe bring on. So when I hear what they're going to cover, I'm like, well, I wonder who the hell they're going to bring on for that one. I got to say, for the record, Mike, I did not expect you on the Space Truckers episode. So that's going to be a pleasant surprise.
It was a first time watch because I'd always heard about it from folks who'd seen it at the Sundance screening years before. And it was like one of those.
It does have one simple thing. Square pigs.
Yes, it's the best.
Yeah, Square Pigs is the one thing I'll remember. If you've seen the film, you know what I'm talking about.
Damn, that movie. Ooh. Anyway,
it should have worked, and that's all I'll say. I don't want to say.
Listen to us. We talk about it quite in detail. Just get out there, live music. Take your kids out to the movies. Go and see Sorry Baby. We didn't do pluses. Sorry Baby and Oh Hi both were Sundance films that released this past weekend.
You're sneaking
See
a plot.
sorry baby. I'm sneaking it in. See sorry baby. See it.
There you go.
Got it.
Rewatch Brokeback Mountain. Plus.
Yes, there you go.
My plus, Purple Harmony Pillow. Great night's sleep.
Nice.
See?
Yes.
There you go. We
'em.
did it. We did it, folks.
You know what the difference between pink and purple is, though, right? Your grip.
Swipe. What? What's the difference between pink and purple? What was it again?
Your grip.
FF, baby.
Yeah.
All right.
Dad joke. Dirty dad joke.
Yeah.
Swiping right.
Oh, my goodness.
That's not FF. That's a DDJ, baby. The dirty dad joke.
Know what I'm saying? A Joey Sanchez joke. But
Ooh.
duck butter.
You know what that is now. Yeah, you know what that is.
No.
Nasty.
Don't Google it. Please don't Google it. Okay.
Oh.
Have you guys seen the film?
No. Now
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
afraid to.
You got to see the film. It's Alia Shawkat and that one girl, Thurby from Judge.
It'll be a Thirlby.
That'd be Thurby.
Okay.
It's a good film. It's a good film.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out because I love Thirlby. Dread.
It's a good
So good in Dread.
It's a good LGBTQ film.
Okay.
That just we might discuss this off the air, Jose.
Oh,
Mhm.
yes. Maybe.
Yeah, 'cause we got some things cooking.
Yeah. Cook it up, baby. Cook it up. All right. So as always, folks, be kind, be open, be vulnerable. That's where the art is. We'll see you next week.